imagine anything more wasteful.
It's
and
that
then you
one
put it in a
fucking
PVC
Oreo from Futurama.
like blister pack.
Okay, so that's different. See, I was imagining like you know how lifesavers, there's individually wrapped lifesavers or like breath mints or whatever. But a blister pack of jelly beans I can see. That makes sense.
We're just trying to maximize the plastic waste.
Yeah. Get those single-use plastics flowing.
Look,
Hello.
they say that recycling plastic is good for the environment. Well, we don't have enough plastic to recycle. We make more plastic, we make more recycling.
Save the world.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Ignore that
Just
first
trying to do my
R.
part by individually packaging jelly beans in their own individual tiny blister packs.
Forget that the first R stands for reduce. What the fuck does that mean? Hi guys, welcome to Wildfolk. It's the second episode.
Hello.
We have brand new people, except for Sidro, who's not brand new.
Two-timer.
Two-timer. He's already, statistically speaking, in 10 episodes, Sidro will have played 20 episodes.
Whoa.
What?
That's just extrapolating data right there.
Yes, that's good hard data.
I'm here to play Dungeons and Dragons and extrapolate data, and I'm all out of Dungeons and Dragons. It's a joke about how we're playing Pathfinder now, everyone. I'll be here all week.
I already did my big spiel last week about what we're doing with this campaign. It's kind of a little bit of a short campaign. It's going to be very railroady. It's very experimental. We're doing this to test the system and see how we like it and how we don't like it. And then we're going to get to the end, and everyone is going to yell about the things they like and they dislike. And then we'll decide if we use Pathfinder for the real campaign. But I already did all this disclaimer shit. I think we should just get started. Is there... Let's see. We already introduced Sidro last time. Biscuit. Biscuit wasn't in Crosswinds. Biscuit, tell us about yourself. Everybody knows who Biscuit is, but tell us about yourself.
Hi.
I don't
I'm
know one thing
Biscuit.
about Biscuit.
Crud. I do things. I bake.
He's a great baker.
I'm screwing this up.
He knows a lot about
nuts.
alchemy. I say alchemy instead of chemistry because it sounds cooler.
What do you like to
yeah.
make the most? What's your favorite recipe to bake?
I like to bake all sorts. I like this variety. If I made the same recipe over and over again, I hate it, right? So I don't just bake it. I'm an award-winning cook. I've won 3 awards.
Do you bake in molds?
I do art. I draw wieners.
That's
No,
true.
I don't use.
That's true of like half the people. Hey guys, if you're new to this group, if for some reason this is the first campaign that you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm real sorry.
Really
Why?
sorry, everyone.
Yeah, sorry about that. Go check out one
Just-
of our cooler
yeah,
campaigns where we
pick
know
some-
what we're doing.
Or just
We're
pick
really
a
sorry.
different channel. It's
Just go somewhere else. Like, we don't mean to do this to you. I'm sorry.
you can delete it, Lush. We just don't know how to because we're all
I
new
did
here.
it. I did it before, and now I can't figure it out.
Okay, so learning the system. Go to the ruler tool on the left, the measurement controls, the bent ruler, specifically the bent ruler. And then hover over the center point and press delete.
Why would they do this?
I don't know. Is it working? It worked. Hey, I'm so
See,
proud of
it's
you.
kind of charming. I like.
I did it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt Biscuit.
It's okay.
I mean crackers.
Never interrupt crackers.
Am I allowed to say his name?
I don't think we're supposed to say his character's name at any point in this campaign. You guys want to take bets for who's going to have like the worst slip up with that name at some point in this campaign?
Wait, intentional or unintentional?
Unintentional.
It's going to be
Okay.
Biscuit. Of course it is.
It's going to be Biscuit. You're right.
God, excuse me. I'm the only one in this room who doesn't say cusses.
That's true. He
He's
doesn't say
also the least likely to use his own character's name out loud. You know.
True. I do. Here's a fun fact about Biscuit. Biscuit draws pornography for a living, like half of the people on the show, and will not say curse words. He doesn't say swears.
Y'all motherfuckers
I don't do
need
it for a
Jesus.
living. I do it for the pleasure of it. Okay, I do other things for a living.
That's fair. I actually don't know if any of us here do it for a living. We just do it.
He just explained he's a baker. Fat, keep up.
Well, he's not. He's an award-winning baker.
That's
He's
another
not-
hobby. I know everything
he's not
there
a
is to know about
professional
bees.
baker. Oh, he does know everything there is to know about bees, and he also started the Flat Earth movement.
Congratulations.
I may have accidentally contributed to it. I didn't start it. But
We spent a disproportionate amount of time introducing Biscuit. I think we should get started.
You did the same thing to me last time, so...
That's true. Last time it was an accident, though. Something came up, and I had to get somebody to vamp for 10 minutes.
I was gonna say at least Feck helped Biscuit in this case. He didn't just say hey, introduce yourself. I'll be back in 25.
Fuck you.
see you in a half hour. Just talk about yourself for a bit.
Oh, I'm the worst. I'm the worst DM. Alright, sick. This time we can do these in a little bit of a weird order, but not Drake, for reasons. Everybody except Drake roll initiative.
Oh,
What is initiative?
How the hell does this work?
Here, first of all, let's go over to a map where you guys have tokens on it. So let's do that.
Can I roll
Everybody,
mine?
right-click your
Oh, there's
token.
my little me.
There's a little bit.
There's no active encounter.
Shit. There
Yeah.
you go. There
Wow.
you go. Okay, right-click your token, and down in the bottom right, you should see a little sword thing. Click that, and that sets you to participating in this combat. And then up in the top right, over the chat log, the crossed swords is where you can find the initiative list, including a little button you can click to roll it.
Wow.
Okay, but can I make mine deception based because I get a +1 if it's deception based?
I'm only going to let you do this because this isn't real initiative. And
Great.
kind of actually, sure, I'll let you do it for funsies.
How do I do that again? I'm sorry, I made myself part of the combat, but how do I roll initiative?
So normally you would go over to the initiative tab in the top right, the cross swords, and click that little die. But since you want to use a different skill, open up your character sheet first.
Right.
And in the middle left, change that drop down from perception to deception.
Okay.
And it should give you that bonus automatically. It did.
It did.
Nice.
Wild.
Nice.
Wild.
So I think this actually worked out in the order that I had written in anyway, so that this works. Yeah, this works out in exactly the order I'd already written it. So I'm just going to delete this initiative, and I have wasted everyone's time.
Thanks.
Cool.
I love wasting time.
That's a good way to sell the system.
Me too.
Oh, Christ, let's do it. Let's flashback a little bit to the 24th of Origin, which is a bunch of words that it doesn't mean anything to you guys yet, because I'm the only one who knows this world's lore so far. Summer is nearly over. Students are beginning to gather in the lecture halls of the Little Rascat Arcane Academy for their orientation classes. The weather is warm and cozy, Biscuit. Or Crackers, rather.
Already.
Already. Your eyes are heavy and your body is warm and soft all over, and you think that after a nice nap in the courtyard, you might swing by the mess hall to see if they have any mead, and jam, and crackers. Crackers.
Wow.
Crackers. Crackers.
I'm here. I don't know what to do.
Oh, you wake up.
Ugh.
Map.
It's all gray.
Is it?
Yeah, I can push a reload button.
No, I
though.
see it now. I see it now.
Okay, sick. You scared the shit out of me. I thought I had fucked up maps.
This 95% is a really good map.
That was also. Oh god, I love the changing sound effects so much.
Yeah, shockingly easy. I love the system so much. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Pathfinder. That's just Foundry.
Right.
Crackers, you wake up with a start to a mixture of gawks and stifled laughter as one of your fellow students elbows you awake, whispering in your ear to get your attention. All the other students are staring at you, some giggling under their breath. You're not sure how long you've been asleep, but judging by the strand of drool connecting down to your open spellbook and the look on Magister Camembert's face, it must have been a while.
That's a cheese. Your name is a cheese. The map hasn't loaded for me.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it hasn't loaded for me either.
Oh, yeah,
Gotta refresh.
I see the map, but I don't see any NPCs.
That is a Firefox issue, I believe.
I see them on Twitch.
Yeah, that is the issue that Firefox has. Firefox doesn't load SVGs. Hey guys, hey players, hey viewers, if you guys are using Firefox on Foundry and your DM uses SVGs, like the ones from GameIcons.net, you're probably not seeing all their icons. And if you are, you're probably seeing the wrong icons. PSA, I learned that this week.
I feel like the wrong icons could make it more interesting, though.
Sure, I guess. Why not?
Sure.
Magister Camembert, this kind of elderly tabaxi, kind of tigerish in appearance with these lynx-like tufts of fur that come down almost into a beard, kind of looks at you with these ice-cold eyes and says, "I'm sorry, does my class bore you, Cantor Prentice?"
No. I, yeah.
Alright, let's try this again. What is the coefficient of mana draw at the Baron axis?
Oh, crud. I don't, this is, I thought, isn't this an introductory class?
Shame. Here, I thought you might have accidentally learned something while your nose was buried in that book. The answer is 0. It is completely impossible to draw mana at the Baron axis, and he starts to walk back over to the chalkboard, and all of the other students are looking at you like, oh my god, I cannot believe he didn't know this.
I knew that.
What's more,
You give me a chance to say.
Thanks to the fishhook effect, the coefficient remains at nearly 0 for thousands of miles in all directions. Now, some of you young folks might find it hard to believe, for almost half the globe, including for many of your parents and grandparents back home, the coefficient of mana draw remains less than 0.1 DSC, and he taps the chalkboard several times. Entire civilizations like my homeland, Cheekerfin, way over in Inverness, not only survive, but thrive on an order of magnitude less magic than we have here in Little Rascat. And yet even with all that mana and power at your fingertips, you still can't muster a spell to stay awake in my class, and he throws a piece of chalk at you.
Another spell that keeps you awake.
Your classmate leans over. Yeah, they're totally is. I can teach you afterwards. Just shut up. Let's try another then. And he looks back at you. If the coefficient of mana draw at the Baron axis is 0, then what do you suppose is the coefficient of mana draw at the Ley axis?
100?
My tenure for just one student who would actually read the assignment. 1 DSC. Even though the supply of magic is much stronger at the foot of Mount Avalon, it is never possible to draw more mana into our bodies faster than the Diemen sympathetic constant allows. Or at the very least not without pissing off some very, very powerful gods. Of course, you'd probably be ripped to shreds by sympathetic energy long before you reach that point anyway. Isn't that right, Kentra Prentice Crackers?
I'm just gonna hide in my hood.
Excellent. As you do, you can see that some of your fellow students kind of gasp at that, like, oh shit, that was kind of rude. They seem to understand what he's talking about. I don't mean to be insensitive, he kind of like puts on this faux apology, but I believe your sponsor is a valuable cautionary tale on the dangers of sympathetic manipulation. Hundreds of students walk through these doors every season. Some have spent their inheritances, some have traveled for months to come here and experience magic, some for the first time in their lives. But some of these students get silly and dangerous thoughts in their heads, Thoughts of bending the rules of time, becoming a lich, he starts walking your direction, solving world hunger, or raising a god. Magic is a powerful tool, and in the right hands, it can be very useful. But in hasty hands, it is a fireball waiting to explode, and that is why we normally accept only the brightest minds within these halls. I've heard a lot about you, Cantor Prentice Crackers, and about your sponsor as well. Sate my curiosity, will you? I should like to see for myself how bright your mind is. Would you grace us with a spell?
I'm not really feeling up to it at the moment. And I left my component pouch at home. I didn't come.
He reaches to your student, or to your fellow student, grabs their little pouch full of herbs and crystals and dust and slides it over to you. Go on then, come on, surely. Surely you must have something.
Crackers is just gonna poke through the bag, looking at all the weird stuff.
Nothing? No minor illusion?
God, okay. Can I do a necromancy? Is that okay?
What did you have in mind?
I use sleight of hand to take my thumb off.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
I can't. The thing isn't loaded. Do it for me.
Yeah, it's not loading for me either.
what
It's
the
still just
hell?
gray.
None of it is loading.
Oh,
I'm completely out of the game.
Yeah, the gray screen of death fix guide says that you
It's
just have to give
working
up on life.
for me now that I opened it in Chrome. Firefox is fucky.
I'm in Chrome.
I'm on Chrome too.
Oh, this is the worst. Is Foundry down? If Foundry is down or if Forge is
No,
down, I'm going
mine's-
to be so mad.
I just opened it and it's working fine for me.
Why?
Hold on, it's saying
Are we-
downloading modules. Please wait. We'll see what happens.
So mine took forever to download modules, but then it
Oh,
opened.
yeah, I refreshed the page like 5 minutes ago, and now it's finally like loaded for me. so.
Weird.
It did take forever to load.
I did confirm, by the way, that last week's issues were because they're having server problems, so maybe they're still having server problems. They posted on Twitter about it. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Forge. Really, though, I do appreciate your service, but if you could get your shit together, that'd be awesome. I'm trying to run a campaign here.
You know what service doesn't have server issues?
Don't even say it, because it's not true at all.
I haven't had issues of her on my end.
Oh my god, I've had so many issues with Roll20, that's why I was so eager to jump.
Yeah, it came to the same page. Will not load for me.
Weird. Let me try
Let me
restarting.
try some troubleshooting.
I'll try rebooting the server real quick. We'll see what happens. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
This map's fucking rad, though, for the record.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Watch, I'm gonna restart, and what's gonna happen is we're gonna lose the people who are currently in.
Right. I'll roll it for crackers right now.
Well, you would, except I just restarted the server.
No, I can't.
Can I have a hero point for my intro being interrupted?
Everyone gets a hero point. Everybody gets 1 hero point at the start of each session.
And then I rolled a nat 20 for nothing. If I nat 20 my sleight of hand, do I get a hero point?
No, you don't get hero points for just getting lucky, but if you come up with something clever and it works, then maybe.
It's more than getting lucky if I call it ahead of time.
Okay, maybe, we'll see.
I mean, that's real magic right there.
That would be pretty cool magic. That would be like a 1 in 20 chance. I'm gonna be so upset if we have server problems.
Yeah, we're definitely having
Guys,
some problems.
it says game pause. I'm getting further.
Oh, stream is back in.
The future is now.
I'm back in.
93%.
I'm in.
Oh, sick.
Downloading world data.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yes. I can see NPCs and everything.
I'm at
While we're waiting,
98%.
maybe we could do. Maybe Biscuit could describe his character.
Yeah, tell us what Crackers looks like. That's a good call. Look at this guy. It's like he knows how to TM.
Thanks.
I think Crackers is a big, tallish, lanky, super skinny, super long, weird-looking nerdy boy.
Okay.
Who looks exactly like a Yusoki, which is a rat folk, except for being like the size of a human and not small at all. He's
True.
like double the size of every other Yusoki.
Very, very tall for a rat folk. Very gangly.
So how tall is tall?
Like 6 feet, almost.
Wow.
But not quite.
Wow.
But close. He is wearing really cruddy clothes.
And that stands out especially because he is surrounded by people who are obviously wealthy. The population here is predominantly rat folk. He stands out like a sore thumb, not only because he's dressed poorly and because the teacher is being a dick to him, but because everybody else here is half his size and dressed very, very regally. These are clearly wealthy nobles who have been sent presumably from wealthy families to learn magic. And although some of them are sympathetic, many of them are kind of joining the teacher with this sort of snobby, like, you don't belong here vibe.
Question.
Yes.
So he's the only person who's like tall in this room. Does that mean that he's like awkwardly at small desk? Like is he like at like a normal sized desk for them? And his like knees are just like sticking above the desk.
There are a couple of others. There are a handful of elves kind of in the back. There's a tabaxi. The teacher himself is tabaxi. This is a world where people vary in size tremendously, and as a result, most societies have kind of adapted to have, big, medium, and small tables. And as such, he's probably sitting at one of the medium tables.
I liked it so much better if he was
Way funnier. Yeah, if it was
way funnier if everyone's small. He's just at a small desk.
Right.
When he walked in at the start of class, all of the seats were taken except for one right at the front that was a small seat. So he is huddled up. His knees are to his chest.
He has his hood pulled up, squished over his face.
It's fucking
Like
Will
15
Ferrell and
minutes
Elf.
Oh, yeah, 100%. All right. Any luck, Biscuit? Are you in?
I rolled it. I
Oh,
got a
sick, you
12.
are in. You got a 12. You begin to do the pulling your thumb off trick. And I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw as you feel everyone in this class glare at you like you do not belong here. Your heart starts to thump. The stress begins to build. You can react however you would like, but you can feel that you are on the verge of a panic attack if you continue to sit here and take this. Cantrip Princess Crackers, what can you do? And if you can
Nothing,
do nothing, why are you here?
I don't know. I shouldn't be here. I don't belong here. I'm not a wizard.
Well, then there is the door, Cantrip
I'm
Princess.
not a monster. I do not belong here. That came out wrong.
Several people do kind of look at you, not necessarily like offended, but a little kind of like, why would he say that? Like, what does that mean?
I'm just
like,
gonna. Oh boy.
which probably compounds the horrible stress. Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Doors
It's
up here.
Just gonna. Excuse me.
Just starts walking right into the wall.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
This is the best. I'm so glad we got you first.
Oh, I still have your component pouch. Hang on. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Where was I? Is this yours?
Yes.
Pardon me.
Some time later, when you finally escape out to the courtyard, trying to calm yourself with some jam and crackers. Let's see, where's the courtyard? Over here to the east.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I went the wrong. Excuse me. Pardon me. Really sorry.
You eventually make your way there. Your heart rate begins to slow a little bit. Although there is still this just swirling, anxious feeling that you don't belong here. You don't belong here. You shouldn't be here. Everybody knows you shouldn't be here. You don't fit in. You're not a real mage. You're not a real wizard. You'll never be a real wizard. What's going on? Why did I do this? This was a mistake. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. Until you catch something out of the corner of your eye. You see, walking down the sidewalk, there is a beautiful blonde human girl who at first kind of like glances you and then looks away. But you notice when you glance back that she has done a double take as well, and she's starting to walk straight towards you.
Quickly polish the old glasses, pin the old ears back behind the hood, lean against the wall, like real casual.
She walks up to you and kind of motions to the empty wall space next to you and says, "This seat taken?"
Nah, come on over. Yeah, just cutting class, just trying to. It was boring.
Whoa! All right. The girl looks into your eyes with bizarre intent. She smiles and laughs a bit at the joke. You can't tell if she's into you or just trying to get a read on you. But she just kind of stands there and studies your face for a while. It's very unusual. You can see that she kind of goes through a bizarre series of emotions that don't make any sense to you. You can't tell if she's about to slap you or cry or kiss you. But she's looking at you as if she knows you, and you're certain that you don't know her. Eventually, she settles on, "You don't belong here."
Yeah, I know. Wait, what do you...
Listen, you don't know me. My name is Alan, but I was a friend of I knew your sponsor. And I think I might know where you do belong.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm just going to do this once, and then I'm going to walk away, and I have to just not care anymore after that. But he talked about you a lot, and I think he would want you to have this. And she hands over a small, red, velvety pouch that you can immediately tell is humming with magic. And at this point, it becomes clear that she is holding back tears. She is kind of settled on her emotions, and she is welling up. She wipes her eyes, and you can see a little bit of makeup runs. "I'm sorry, I have to go." And she starts to walk up.
He misses you.
Ooh. She pauses for a second.
I think.
Do you know that?
I think so.
You think so? All right.
Yeah, I knew him better than anybody else.
Why did he do it?
I don't know. Nobody will tell me.
Well, maybe they will. She nods down to the pouch that she's handed you and starts to walk off. Goodbye, Crackers.
Okay, Ellen. Love your hair. Oh, stupid. Love your hair. So stupid. Whatever. Love your hair. Blonde hair. Whatever. What's in this pouch? Beans?
As you reach your hand in,
Jelly
you
beans.
it's beans. You're
Oh, but how many are there?
100 jelly beans.
You don't have the feet, you can't find out. There's no fun allowed.
That's true. You cannot count beans unless you have a feet. As you reach your hand in, you're unsurprised to find that it does have a little more space on the inside than on the outside, but not much. Your hand bumps into kind of a velvety lining about, like the size of the inside of a shoe. And you find inside two things. The first is a boat ticket headed south to a place called Razan Rock that you've never heard of before. And the second is a small dagger, maybe the size of calling it a dagger is generous. It's about the size of a letter opener. But at its crossguard, at the center, kind of embedded into the hilt, is a glass orb filled with what appears to be blood. This dark red liquid that kind of sloshes around inside. That's it. That's all you find inside.
Oh.
And with that, I
Pretty
think
thick as well.
we should jump to our good friend Pip.
Fantastic.
No issues this time.
I don't see Pip. Where's he at?
He's coming. Give
I
it
don't
a
see Pip
second.
either. Bugaboo.
Bugaboo.
There's Pip.
There's the boy.
There's sweet Pip.
Pip, you wake up gently. It is maybe the 7th or 8th time that you've woken up now, and you're starting to get used to the process. You've learned that the noises and the smells happen automatically, but you only get the pretty shapes and the colors if you open your eyes first. So you do that. It's a little dark, but it's quite green. It might be the greenest place that you've woken up yet, although it's hard to tell without a little more sunlight. You wish there was more sunlight. Your little tummy isn't capable of rumbling, but you can tell that you need breakfast. But your mom said she can't make the suns come out any faster. At least not yet. Maybe later, she said. As you look around, you can see that you're surrounded by more of those tall guys. Your mom called them trees. Your mom says that they aren't like you, that you're something called a person, and that they're something called plant. And you haven't quite figured out the difference yet, but your mom says that it has something to do with sympathy and souls, and she also said that plants don't like hugs. But you're not sure. These trees look like they could use a hug. In fact, this whole place looks like it could use a hug. Speaking of hugs, you begin to wonder where your mom is. She's usually here when you wake up. And she said that the next time you woke up, you might even be able to hug her. And as if on cue, you hear her voice. Good morning, child.
Hi, Mom.
Today is a special day. Do you remember what a birthday is, child?
That's the day when your mom brings you to life, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. And today is my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom. And they'll sort of give Mom a big hug around one of her many legs.
Well, you look around to start to, and she is not manifested yet. It is only her voice.
Oh, sorry, Mom. I tried to give you a hug, but I just hugged a tree by accident.
You look over, you do see that there's kind of this weeping willow that seems to appreciate it, even though your mom says that they don't like hugs. And why don't you tell us what Pip looks like real quick?
With distinct pleasure. A Pipramnum, or Pip for short. He's a leshy, a plant person. I say he, it's a they. They're about 2'2", maybe weigh about 20 pounds or so. They look essentially like a little doll made out of plant material, made out of these like deep green ivy leaves and branches and like twigs and vines holding the whole thing together. They've got 2 big red holly berries for eyes, and really nothing else as far as the face goes. When they speak, it's not like immediately clear where the voice is even coming from, but if you inspected closely, you'd see that behind what would be like the face, there's a like complex series of like essentially reeds and blades of grass that kind of rub against each other to make sharp whistling sounds that come out in sort of the emulation of a voice.
Hell yes.
And they like look up at the tree and are like, I don't know, Mom. It seems like it liked it. What are we gonna do for your birthday?
Well,
Is that why you gave me the waffle iron? Do you want waffles for your birthday?
it is. And in fact, if you open the waffle iron up, I have some other gifts that I want you to share. Go on then. Take a look.
All right, Pip has their only possession is a backpack that their mom gave them at some point. They don't really remember receiving it. I'll describe Mom later when she's visible. And really inside of this backpack is like a blowgun and a few darts and some like some slightly glowing purplish water. And some like religious texts and holy symbols made out of wood. But the thing that's occupying most of the backpack is a very large waffle iron.
And as you fetch it out and open it up, you see that there are a couple of things that have been tucked into it almost like a wallet, although it's certainly not. It wouldn't stay like that for long. The first is something very shiny, something that you may have seen once or twice on your previous awakenings. It's a coin, but it is the shiniest coin that you've seen so far. It is a platinum coin, which, out of character, is worth about 5,000 US dollars.
Pip doesn't know that.
He doesn't have any clue what that means. But Pip has probably seen a feather before, and the other thing inside of there is a large, beautiful crimson feather.
All right, Pip takes the coin and like throws it off to the side and like, stares at the feather, and then was like, "Oh, wait, I'm supposed to keep those." And he goes back over and picks up the coin and puts it back in the backpack, and then looks at the feather.
Yes, those are for you to share. Do you see the men over there? The noisy ones who wear metal?
Do I see them, I presume?
Yeah, you kind of take a look around and you can see that there's a little clearing on the other side of a bridge, just outside of the walls of a small settlement. And Pip probably doesn't fully comprehend what's going on, but there are 3 well-armored elven guards in this kind of resplendent, shining, gold filigreed armor that appear to be having kind of a tense conversation with a bunch of, like, dirt farming peasants, as best as you can tell.
Okay, great. Are these the first people I've ever seen?
You've seen a few others. You typically have been avoiding them, but a lot of the previous times that you've been woken up, it is because she likes for you to sneak in and leave presents for them.
Okay.
So this is kind of this is similar. This is a similar job to what you've done before.
Yeah, Mom, I see them. They don't seem very happy. I wonder if their birthdays are a long time away or something.
I believe that our presence will make them much happier. For this
Okay.
one, you don't even have to be sneaky. You just have to be strong. That coin is very heavy. Do you think you can move it?
He like checks to see if it's within his strength to lift it up and tries to.
You've got it. You can tell perhaps she's doting on you a little bit. You've grown stronger than she thinks, and you would also be aware that she doesn't necessarily know what you look like either, or how big you've gotten. When she first summoned you, you were the size of a grape, and she has kind of had to gauge your strength with each of these missions as she speaks to you telepathically.
Okay, cool. I think so.
Very well. Give the coin to the ones wearing shiny metal, and after that, give the feather to the others. Whichever one seems to be biggest or in charge, they'll know what to do with it.
Okay. And I'll just start walking toward him.
Excellent. You start hobbling along through the underbrush, doing your best to carry your backpack and your waffle iron and the coin and the feather. And as you approach, you can overhear some of their conversations. What do you mean? This is all we have? Then per the terms of the Blemish Protection Treaty, the holy nation of Cyrillin will withdraw its forces and leave us to die here. What of the spirits? What of the Nightwalkers? If you cannot afford the protection of Cyrillin, then I'm afraid you must find a way to protect yourselves. With what? You tax our gold, you confiscate our weapons, you lure our mages away to private schools and forbid us from starting our own. What do you expect us to do? All of the armored guards kind of look at each other, and the one in front rolls his eyes and sighs, I'm afraid that is not the concern of the Holy Nation's Divine Guard. But, if you would like my personal advice, your monsters, their monsters, have you tried talking to them? And all the guards start to laugh and shake their heads. And it's about this time that you
Excuse
wander.
me.
Yeah, yes.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Down here.
Oh. Yes, hi. Hello.
Is it anybody's birthday? I have a present for you.
The three of them look to each other and, like, no, it's not a birthday, but then the one in charge looks down and sees that you're holding a platinum coin.
He actually, like, he hasn't had the common sense to, or they haven't had the common sense to put all their stuff back in their backpack yet, so they keep, like, dropping shit. So they're like, oh, hold on, and they walk back a little bit and then come back with the platinum coin. Like, here, it's from my mom. She says it's for you for one of your birthdays. Just whichever one's next.
Well then. And the guard reaches down and takes it and kind of checks it, bites it, tries to see if it's real. And
Excuse me? And just, like, tries to push past him to the other people.
Excellent. As you're walking over to the commoners, the guard looks at them. Oh, then it seems it's your lucky day, huh? He stuffs the platinum coin into his coin purse. And then he looks to the other guards. It looks like we're still on payroll, boys. At arms, back to your stations, no vacation today. He looks to the commoners. We'll try talking to the ghosts for you, then. They usually listen to reason. He pats the hilt of his sword, and the three of them start to walk off. The townsfolk look at you, incredulous, as you approach, but one of them, this big furbolg man, kind of like steps up and kneels down to get as close to eye level as he can, although his head is about the size of all of you.
Okay. Scanning the whole group, does he appear to be, like, biggest, strongest, most obviously the leader?
Certainly the biggest and strongest, probably the leader. At the very least, he was doing most of the yelling just now.
I have a present for you from my mom. Is it your birthday?
It's not my birthday, little man, but who's your mother? What's the present?
I don't know my mom's name, but here's your present. And they lift up this feather that's probably about like a third of their height up to this big giant furbolg.
Absolutely, and as they lift it up, there are hushed whispers that kind of wave across the crowd as they see this feather and realize what it is. The songbird.
Mom says I'm always supposed to ask for something in return. Do you have a present for me too, please?
Of course. Of course. And he fishes around in a little pouch. Let's see here. Give me a D100.
Hold on. Where are my skills? I found it. I know I don't really need this, really, but I'm going to roll it anyway.
Love it, love it.
Ooh, Jesus. All right, T100.
Yeah, give me D100. Thankfully, the check was ancillary. These people, you've just saved their village for 2 months. They will give you a present for sure.
Perfect.
Oh, that's cute. Why would he have... You know what? I don't even care why he has it. The furball reaches into a pouch and digs around for a little bit, and eventually pulls out a pair of little thimbles, which at your current size are probably just a tiny bit too small to be a helmet and maybe a little too small to be gloves or boots. But only by a little bit. You could maybe stick them on like a couple of your fingers at a time. A couple thimbles.
Outstanding. They take their backpack off and just lift the flap open and hold the backpack up like kind of uppies for the thimbles to just be placed in there.
Excellent. You can add 2 little gold-plated thimbles to your inventory.
Outstanding.
As you're stuffing them in, though, you see a glint off of them. And you start to feel a warm shine of sunlight on your back. But when you turn to look, you discover it's not sunlight at all. In fact, it is the guard captain's coin purse about 40 or 50 feet away from you. It is glowing, as bright as the suns themselves, and the captain is frantically trying to pull it free from his belt. But he's too slow. There is a blinding flash, a blast of heat, and an explosion that blossoms into a fireball shaped like a red feather. And the whispers erupt into commotion. It's them! They're here! The songbirds! They're real! Ra will save us! And when the flash subsides, and as the crowd clamors for these songbirds, you watch as the light coalesces into a shape. A skittering and creeping thing with glowing red eyes. Tell us what your mom looks like.
Oh, I'm so excited to. Pip's mom is a demon. A truly awful looking creature. It's about the size of like a large dog or a pony, like a real big mastiff. Its body kind of looks like a wasp, like this big bulbous throbbing thorax and a really awful jagged stinger on the back, which is kind of dripping instead of venom or poison. It's dripping like burning oil, like flaming oil. It has 8 big, like almost grasshopper-like spindly legs that have just one too many joints in each of them, and they all kind of move really erratically as it skitters around. It's got this oblong, flat face that has 8 eyes that are all different sizes. It's got mandibles, kind of like a wasp, but when the mandibles open up, the inside of its mouth extrudes dozens of these like thin tendrils or tentacles, almost like mycelia or roots or something. To top it all off, you might expect, based on everything that I've just said, that this thing would be like hard and chitinous, like a bug or something, but it has this like wet, fleshy texture to its body, and it secretes this like awful oil that just every once in a while just spontaneously combusts and catches on fire and like burns away. So she's like kind of always shiny and oily and a little bit on fire.
Truly the worst. Absolutely the worst. And as she emerges from the light, though her mini-faced or mini-eyed face would be alien and inscrutable to most, you can feel this sorrowful anger within her. And she hobbles and lurches over the knight captain, who's still coughing up black smoke and wincing under the heat of his metal armor. And as she approaches, you watch as flicking ghost lights emerge from the woods behind her, twinkling like ghastly fireflies, these spirits they must have been talking about. And she leans over, and in a language that I believe only you understand, says, "You made these ghosts God-kept, and now you shall join them." Your mom isn't cruel, but she is also not quick. Her newborn limbs are weary, and each time the injured guards manage to land a blow across her body, you feel pain across your own body. But her claws are sharp, her fangs drip fire, her oil burns, and before long the woods are quiet once more.
Pip, as that horror show is happening, just turns around to the Furbolg and is like, "That's my mom. Don't worry."
Does Pip have reasonable insight?
Where is it? Where's Insight already?
If you
Oh,
say
I'm
yes
sorry.
to this, you're wrong.
I'm sorry. So, new to Pathfinder 2, insight is kind of rolled into perception now. So, what's Pip's
Oh,
perception?
okay. Pip's perception is... Where the hell do I find his perception even? +5, it looks like.
Okay. As you are doing this, some of these commoners are like aghast at the violence, but not at the appearance of your mom. Some of them shirk, some of them are like, "Oh, she looks fucking dangerous," but none of them are like aghast that this is the thing that has come to save them. They, if anything, seem to be rooting for her just like you are.
Outstanding.
And when everything goes quiet, and as the last guard captain succumbs to his wounds, without a word, many of these townspeople begin to trickle over past you to the guard's caravan, and they start looting. They start taking weapons and armor and supplies. They take the pouch of gold. They take the platinum piece. And your mom hobbles over, weary from the battle. "Good morning, child. Would you hug me?"
I would love to, Mom. And he will walk up to her, and if she's injured, he will cast a spell on her.
"You are too kind." And as you do, she can kind of stifle the oil so it stops burning, and she's very, very gentle as she reaches down and puts an arm around you, careful not to catch any flames on you. You are able to get her topped up, and you can see that even with just that little bit of healing, her mortal wounds are starting to close. But more importantly, as each of these commoners goes by and they see you, and they see your mom, and they see what you guys have done for them, you watch as she grows stronger in front of your very eyes. Bits of her soft flesh and carapace begin to get a little harder. Her teeth grow a little longer. And she looks at you and says, "It is so good to see you. Come."
Wow, Mom, what big teeth you have.
All the better to protect you with. Come,
Aww.
we have much to do, and you have much to learn. Have you figured out what that waffle iron does yet?
No, I got my fingy stuck in it and it hurt, so I didn't play with it anymore until I could ask you how to use it. There's a nice man over there behind the gate. I gave him the feather like you asked.
As you point him out, He kind of like looks afraid for a second, like, oh shit, he just pointed at me and he doesn't understand what you're saying. But he kind of resolves himself and starts to walk over. And he looks down at you and to this thing, which, is currently the size of a dog, but, that's still up to his waist or whatever. And then to the waffle iron that you're holding. Are you hungry, little guy?
I don't really know how to. Do you have some really fertile dirt and this pattern like a hillside that the sun hits most of the day?
Yes. Come with me.
Okay.
And he starts to lead you through the town with your mom.
I say he looks to mom for permission, but she's cool with it.
Absolutely. She, again, alien and inscrutable to anyone else, but she does this imperceptible click of her mandibles that you interpret as like a motherly nod. And you begin to walk through town towards a little grassy hillside. And sure enough, around the time that you get there, the first of the suns pops up over the horizon. And you have yourself a wonderful breakfast, soaking in the sun and the dirt. As your mom begins to explain what a person is, what food is, what water is, and all of the other basics of the world around you. And let's jump to Gargle.
Delightful.
Oh boy.
So glad I didn't have to follow that one.
Is there a way to turn the sound effects down a little bit?
Over in the, up in the top right, the music note thing will let you do it.
Oh, I see it. Okay, cool.
Global volume controls. That'll do it for all of them, or if it's a specific one that's too loud, you can just change it down there.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
I'm nervous.
It's okay. It's gonna be
My
fun.
opening scene was as a flunk out, and he gets to be a local hero.
My mom's the hero. I just work here.
Yeah, spoilers. Not all of you have even starts. Some of you get just royally fucked, and then some of you get awesome, cool shit.
Best character Zeke's ever played.
It's it's pretty good. Gargle. You wake up from your trance, but the spirits are still there. And why don't you tell us what Gargle looks like before we do anything else?
Yeah. So Gargoyle looks a little bit different than other Kuoto you might have seen before. He looks like he's a little bit more, he's not so clunky and clumsy looking. He looks like he can walk around a little bit more easily. He is a vibrant, like a deep purple and blue. He has a little Pope hat on. On his arms, he has just a shit ton of prayer beads that are all slightly glowing, and they glow at. They have different levels of glowing in them. And he's 2 foot tall.
He is 2 feet tall, which puts him a little bit smaller than most of the other mini Kuatoa that surround him. It is nighttime, but the moon is out. It is full. It is bright. The border ethereal is thick in this place, and it isn't easy to keep a channel open. You can see, when you wait from your trance, the stress and the strain upon all of your followers' faces as they sing their occult chorus. The beads around your arms glow with their power. One of them, Archspeaker Sulphur Spritz, looks at you, gives a nod, and then steps forward to begin speaking to the spirits. "Spirits!" he yells, and waves other Kuatoa echo his message in a swath of foreign languages, some of which you understand, some of which you don't. "Your sorrow has led you astray. Your worldly angers with us, with each other, they do not matter anymore. You have done your part, the battle is over, and it is time to go home." Already as you look out over the ocean, you can see a few of the ghosts beginning to close their eyes, shake their heads, or some lift their heads to the heavens. Some begin to rise, illuminated by starlight. "The call of the moon is patient, but if you tarry on your journey to Styx, you may never see it. Your soul will wander this world until your memories rust, your spirit wanes, and the husk of what you once were will succumb to wandering demons. Your soul will feed the beasts that haunt the ethereal, and your power will become theirs." Again, echoes of all of these words being translated. "Do not let your mortal loves, your strifes, be lost to that grim end. Be at peace. Be at peace. To linger will bring only pain for yourselves, for your families, for the world itself. More and more of these ghosts begin to drift heavenward, and as they do, you can see waves of emotion start to wash over the faces of the villagers who come to watch the spectacle from the nearby city of Lancap. Some laugh in relieved joy. Their town will be a little safer at night when this is over. Others begin to cry. You hear a Fulmano girl call out, "Papa, please, no! Don't go! Don't go!" Her mother holds her back, tears in her eyes. Neither of them seem to understand the danger of the girl's blasphemy. "Please," your Archspeaker begs the spirits, "you must leave this place. Hell should reach the horizon in a matter of minutes, and Zion, short behind it, race the sun and see eternity. We do not wish to cause you harm, but we cannot allow you to tarry and endanger those who remain. Those who stay behind will serve a destiny we don't wish to force upon anyone. Please, for your own safety, leave now." At this point, all but a few dozen of these ghosts have begun to drift upwards towards the moon. You know in your heart that their journey to Styx will be kind to them, but you also know that the time for kindness is coming to a close, and you have to do something with the ghosts who remain behind. Your speaker turns to look at you, to the rest of your flock, and asks if you have any words.
So he's like picking at his fingers. He's like looks extremely nervous and very afraid to be there. And he just kind of freezes for a second there. So he just like is not sure what to say.
Your Archspeaker steps up to you and puts a gentle hand on your chest. "You can do it, Chosen One. Anything at all to offer these people peace."
Yes. Don't worry. We'll save your people. We will defeat the enemies and bring peace. You can move on and not have to worry that your people will be in danger.
"Very good, Chosen One." And with a somber nod, he takes a deep breath, turns to face the spirits once more, and begins to scream. And as he screams, the tone of your followers' chorus becomes dissonant and haunting. They join in screaming. The swells of voices intermingle with frantic cries, occult chanting, and the ringing of bells. Ghastly light begins to emanate from your chorus, from you, and especially from the beads around your arms. "Spirits! May your anger serve a holy cause!" And at this point, as the waves of energy begin to wash over them, the spirits howl in pain. Some begin to rush towards you, but your loyal followers raise their staves and their shields towards them and begin grappling against them. You hear the tearing of ghostly claws against their scales, the shrieking of banshees, the moaning of specters. You can smell blood trickling from the noses and the eyes of your brave defenders as their bodies and their minds are assaulted to defend you. "May your sympathy bring an end to this war. May you sing the song of mourning. Though you know not yet the value of your sacrifice, you will be the first children of a peaceful world. Come, thou angered, come, thou righteous, come, thou lost and afraid. We shall be your lantern and you our light. Blaze, blaze, blaze." And at this point, there is a wave of energy that engulfs you and wraps you in light and fire and heat. And you were pulled into kind of a trance once more. You're surrounded by ethereal energy, and you can start to feel many of these spirits pulled into you, into your beads, into the burden that you've been set to carry. But you feel some resist, and you begin to look around and see the faces of those who fight hardest to resist you. While I'm pulling them up, I need 3 charisma checks from you.
This character has charisma!
I'm so proud of you.
Happy day! For those of you who don't know, my last
Ace
character had
PTSD.
negative charisma, and everything I had to do was charisma-based. Is that going to be under... What tab would that be under?
How do you do just an unskilled charisma in Foundry? Let's find out. I believe if you go to your front page and click on... No, that's not it. Where is it? How do we do this?
Just roll a d20 and add your charisma score. That's right.
Yeah, that's fine. That works. There's got to be... Surely there's a way to do this.
Does Pathfinder do unskilled checks?
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe everything has a check. You know what? Give me a religion or arcana, or sorry, religion or occultism. And if your charisma is higher than your int, just give me the difference and we'll adjust it.
Okay, they both... which would be... They're both the same for me. Which would be more appropriate? Which would be funner?
Honestly, they are almost exactly appropriate here. I guess give me occultism.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit higher than this. Let me roll it and I'll tell you the difference.
Sure.
The radiant light effect is really good.
Right? I love
It's
these
real
special effects,
cool.
My crystal is a +4, so I think it's 3
they're
more.
fun. So 3 different, so we got a 15 and then 2 more. An 18 and a 13. For a grand total of 46. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. As you enter this state, it's one you're familiar with. This is kind of one of the final steps of this appeasement ritual, this putting spirits to rest ritual. You must choose a number of these spirits to pull in and effectively save. The rest will linger here. They will be released. They will wander the mortal plane for who knows how long, either until you can gather more energy or until some terrible fate befalls them. You have accumulated 46 points, which is enough to save 3 of the following spirits, which I will describe for you. Choose carefully. The first face that you see is an Azantic raider, Sahuagin woman. She looks like a pirate, and if you were to ask most Wildfolk, they'd probably agree. There is a Fulmano Cannoneer, who's a Minotaur man. He's very poorly dressed, but in contrast with that, he's wearing a lot of fine jewelry, and his fur is shaped in elaborate and beautiful patterns. You're a little surprised to see the face of Brother Netherbrook, Kuatoa, one of your followers. Although your senses have been pulled out of the material plane for a short time, you imagine that he has died defending you from these angry ghosts while the ritual was happening. He was young, but devout, zealous for your cause, and a believer in you at every step of the way. There's a Cyrilla mage, an elven woman. She was likely here to teach at one of Laenkep's fledgling magic academies. There's a young Tabaxi boy. Judging by his clothing, he was probably just a Fulmano colonist. It's always troubling to see the spirits of the young. And then there's a Venera man, who's covered in tattoos and piercings, almost certainly a pirate.
I'm dead?
Who knows, man? If you would like to know anything more about them, poke me, but that is just kind of a brief synopsis. And if
Have I done this before?
You've done this before. You have, you understand that you need to pick 3 to save, and their power and their spirits will join you on your mission. They will accompany you. The rest will go free. They might cause trouble here, but most likely they will flee somewhere safe. They will know that it's not safe here for them, and they will travel somewhere else.
What becomes of them if they join me?
That is a wonderful question. You took the lore for your own cult as a knowledge check, right?
Yeah, I took Colt.
Sick. Give me a recall knowledge check using that lore skill. Let's see what they have told you. Uh, 22 is quite good. The beads that you wear around your arms, you know, contain spiritual power. In many cases, literally the spirits of people who are contributing to your cause, but sometimes also just their prayers, their sympathy. Your people don't like to forcibly take spirits and use their power. That's not what they're interested in doing. But when the alternative is killing them permanently, removing them from this world, or leaving them free to attack commoners, they've justified maybe it's a little better to just use them as a battery instead. The 3 that you take will travel with you, as unharmed as they can be, and their power will lend itself to your cause for this ritual that you're trying to undertake. At the end of it, you imagine that means that they will be used as part of an ascension ritual, and will probably be sent after that to the afterlife of whatever you ascend. In theory, this could be a painless process.
I guess I'll take Brother Netherbrook, because I guess this probably is what he wants?
More than anything, absolutely. You know that he is a tremendously devout follower, and although he would never question your judgment if you chose to leave him behind, there is no greater honor that you could give him than to let him join the family that has already joined you around your arms. And as you reach out to him, he gives you a smile, unable to communicate other than showing gratitude through his face. And you watch as one of your beads begins to glow brighter.
Do I get like a vibe off of these other people, or are they just kind of like, do they seem aware of what's happening?
They're angry. All of them are angry or distraught or panicking. And specifically, the Fulmano Cannoneer looks angry. The Azantic Raider looks angry. The Serial Mage looks frantic, like she's hysterical. The Colonist Boy is the same. He looks confused. He's scared. The Venera Pirate looks determined, like he's got other places to be. He's not even looking at you. He's trying to pull himself free just to escape. He wants to go free.
Well, fuck, this is a tough decision.
It is. If you want to study them closer, I can give you more info, or you can follow your heart.
So I'm assuming that like the Serial Mage is she strongest in magic. The Colonist Boy is just a peasant.
Seems like it. Yeah, you can't imagine he's good at anything really. Maybe
the other three seem like they're just all pirates of some sort, right?
Yeah, the Cannoneer is probably better at like guns and machines and lifting heavy stuff. The Raider is probably good at like top work. He's good at lines. He's good at sails. Serial Mage is probably a mage of some sort. And likewise, the Pirate is probably good at sailing, top work lines. You imagine that almost everyone here died at some sort of naval conflict, probably near the city, maybe right off the docks.
Okay, I'm going to choose the Mage.
Understood. You see...
He's going to extend a hand out to her. My hand's a little shaky, but I extend it out to her.
For sure. And as you grab hers, you see that the confusion, the panic, the terror in her eyes fades a little bit. She finds some measure of peace even as it's thrust upon her, and you feel her power is pulled in. One of your beads begins to glow. You feel your power waning. You're still new to this. You're still in training. And although it pains you to know that you have to leave some of these people behind, you can only choose one more.
I'll choose Colonist Boy.
Understood. Though he can offer almost nothing to you, certainly. He brings no skills to the table. He probably does not have as much sympathy as the others. He seems the most innocent, the most likely, the most in need of saving. And when you take his hands, his eyes look up to you as if he's suddenly been found after being left alone and lost for a long time. His eyes close and he smiles and is absorbed into one of the beads, which begins to glow just very dimly. With the last of your power spent, you swirl out of this plane. You watch at looking around. Let's see. The spirits that remain are pulled in to you, except for the ones that you could not keep, which begin to flit off across the ocean, disappearing faster than sound can travel. And with that, the faint blue lights all disappear, and everything begins to go quiet, except for the murmuring of the city folk behind you. In the distance, you can hear the church bells of Lancap. There are people crying, there are people celebrating quietly, although even the ones who are rejoicing understand that this is a somber occasion. And with that, cold and methodical, you and your flock prepare to move on. You have everything that you need at this stop, and you have a long pilgrimage ahead of you.
Yeah. Can I do one more thing?
Absolutely.
So as I come back to you, I will like look at the beads on my wrist, and I will find the one that Brother Netherbrook gave me, which I assume now has him inside of it.
Absolutely.
So I kind of rub it fondly.
As you do, and as you guys are all kind of preparing to move on your way, the Archspeaker comes over and says, "There is no greater honor than for us to join you on your pilgrimage in eternity. We would do anything for you, Chosen One, you know that."
But not you.
"There will come a time, my dear friend, when I must, but not until it is necessary."
Well, hopefully it will not be necessary.
"My hope is that when it becomes necessary, I will have taught you everything that you need to do what you must. And we'll see each other in the end. We always do."
He just takes a deep breath and a little nod to him.
A cloud rolls over the moon, darkening the sky a bit. You can hear a faint roll of thunder in the distance. You have a long pilgrimage ahead of you, and it seems that at every step, more and more of your flock must pay their final tithe to you to ensure that you carry on. It was only one today, but sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. Though the hope and sympathy of your brothers lives within you, their power can only linger on this plane for so long, and so you must move quickly. And with that, let's jump to Drake, who's not dead. It's just another Venera pirate. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Womp womp.
Well, that's less interesting, but Okay.
That would be cool, though. Drake didn't give me anything. I should have just made him dead. That would have been awesome.
Couldn't.
Yeah.
I think he's already been dead before.
You talk shit about PF2, you just get to start out dead.
Yeah, you joke about dying at character creation. I'll kill you at character creation. You watch me, motherfucker. Shit, I didn't do this time. So let's see. Here's next where Pip started.
That's me. I'm Pip.
Is he really born?
Yeah,
Sure.
my mom made me. Is that really any different than being born?
Here's next at the academy.
You can't kill me in any way that matters.
What? Like, Gargle wasn't born. Gargle was hatched, right?
It's not necessarily true. Some fish give live birth.
True.
Are you talking about Gargle?
Yeah.
Well, I was reborn.
Oh.
We're gonna have to have a conversation.
I want to join your cult.
Good news.
I'd love to have you in my cult.
What's it called?
It's
Fun little get together. We all drink Kool-Aid.
when you worship someone and give them your sympathy to give them power.
Oh, I already have one of those, thanks, so.
It's lots of fun. Usually.
Son, you wake up to the jingling of a bell and the sound of hearty laughter coming from the front room. Come in, you hear through the walls. Weapons and belongings over there, please. Lockboxes are a copper. The proprietor seemed like a kind man, just a little bit paranoid. But everyone's been paranoid around here lately. Rumors of evacuation, news of the siege of Rosin Rock to the east, reports of settlements being raised by the Imrics and the Drewski. You can't blame him for being a little cautious. Beerbeck, tell us what he looks like. Tell us what Son looks like.
Okay. Sun is a Vanara, so he's kind of got monkey-like features, hand, feet, that sort of thing. Long tail. He's got just a grumpy look to his face. Bright red makeup that surrounds his eyes, and kind of brown hair. He's wearing just simple clothes. Nothing too. Nothing with a lot of like dangling bits that could get tangled or caught in trees or anywhere.
Perfect.
And he's got a pistol, and he's got a weird goblin knife that he probably took off of a corpse.
Hell yeah. The proprietor's worries are your paycheck. For a few months, your crew has made a pretty penny, ferrying evacuees over into Wexisas, and then ferrying refurbished firearms back to Roseanne Rock on the return trip. It's been a good gig, but with the siege in full swing, you've had to branch out a bit. Thankfully, your captain is a resourceful man, and you all just made a little bit of coin carrying some passengers down the Tapwine, including a big gaggle of Kuatoa who were on about some religious pilgrimage. It was kind of weird. Most of your crew is safely tucked away for the night at a little inn down by the docks, but a few of the passengers that you were ferrying caught a wind of a tavern called the Rook and the Rowboat. Turns out that place is just down the street from a quiet little sauna, so you dropped them off for a drink over there and then snuck off on your own to unwind a bit. The proprietor, the Turtle Man, warned you that it's dangerous to fall asleep in here, but you've really missed the hot springs back home, and this is about as close as you're going to get here. It seems you're not the only one who enjoys the heat either, because as you look around, you see that someone else has slipped in. You didn't hear him at the door, and you didn't hear the proprietor greet them. He looks like a goblin at first, but his ashy skin and a pair of horns reveal him to be something else, a tiefling maybe, or an ifrit. Sometimes it's hard to tell. He's out cold, and as you look him over a bit more, you notice that he's a bit of a wreck. He's covered in bruises and poorly bandaged wounds, but he's breathing normally. He probably just needs the rest almost as much as you do. That rest is interrupted when the sauna door opens, letting some of the steam escape briefly. The newcomers are courteous, though. They quickly close the door behind them and quietly take a seat. The three of them seem like they're having a good time. There's a burly orc covered in tattoos, a scruffy rat folk in glasses who walks with a bit of a limp. There's a limber crocodilian lizard folk with 2 golden teeth. And after they take their seats, the rat folk starts giggling and reaches into his mouth and pulls out a shining gold flask. The lizard folk's eyes dart out. Where was that? Was that in your mouth? How the fuck, Chester? What? Come on, it's been a long day. Work's over. Let's relax, yeah? The orc snatches the flask and towels it off a bit before he unscrews it for a swig. That's bad for your blood, you know. Scrawny thing like you will go thin with all the heat. Oh, don't encourage him, Percy. You guys are going to make a scene. And the lizard folk darts his eyes over to you and to the goblin, still passed out. Oh, lighten up, Peanut. What are they going to do, kick us out? Maybe. You don't know that they won't. He's right. It's been a long day. We don't want to start any trouble. Here, let's make friends, And the orc scoots a little bit closer to you and offers you the golden flask. It smells sweet and sharp with a hint of cherry. You don't look like you're from around here either. What's your name?
Son. He'll take a flask and take a swig.
It's delicious. And he takes it back and takes a swig of his own, and then he passes it down the line, and they each start. The lizard folk reluctantly joins in. I'm Parakanak, or you can call me Perk. My friends call me Perk. The rat folk takes it and says, I'm Chester. And the lizard folk takes it, I'm Peanut.
Which of them was Percy?
Perk is the orc.
Okay.
Chester's the rat folk. Peanut is the lizard folk. And I think if you hover over him, it'll show the name. Yeah, there we go.
So we all get these tough conundrums, and he gets marry, fuck, kill.
True. Easy choice. Kill Chester, fuck Peanut, marry Percy.
Ooh, interesting choice. As if on cue, the orc kind of looks to everyone and says, you guys want to play a game? And both of them like, alright, sure, what do you want to do? Maybe fuck, marry, kill, Let's do the Queen of Eden, a really, really hot play actor, and a really, really rich guy. Go. Chester immediately just starts rattling off, kill the queen, marry the rich one, fuck the play actor. And then Peanut thinks about it a little bit and is like, yes, I think he's got the right idea.
It's 3 for 3.
You too? I think I would want to marry the playwright, because he seems creative. And hot. Those are both good things. And then I can fuck the queen, because, then I can say that I fucked the queen. And which one does that leave? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. And he takes another drink. At this point, Chester looks over to you. How about you, new guy? You know any games?
Just will and cat roulette, but that seems a little dangerous for a first time.
They all laugh. Yeah, I don't think we should be doing that in here. They'd probably kick us out for that. Besides, I think we would need a firearm for that, right?
Probably.
You don't have one, do you?
Sure do.
Do you? What kind do you have?
Just a flintlock.
That's pretty cool. What do you do for a living?
Bounty hunter, mostly. Odd jobs. Just getting by.
Bounty hunter? Oh, jeez, that sounds dangerous. You mean like monsters and stuff?
Whatever pays.
This guy gets it. Wherever the gold goes, right? You seem pretty cool. You ever killed anybody?
Yeah.
Wow. All of them kind of go quiet for just a little bit, and then they look to each other. And then the orc says, that was a big, deep question for... we're trying to have a nice time. Why don't you just chill the fuck out, Peanut? You're really harsh and the mellow in here, you know? Jesus, Peanut, we can't take you anywhere.
What do you
What?
guys do?
Oh, well, I'm a lumberjack. Chester, I'm an alchemist. And the Peanut's like, I kill people. Chester kind of chimes in. Peanut, do you mind? Like, can you just chill for 2 seconds?
Is together?
Oh, we've been traveling for a little while, maybe, I don't know, a month or two. We're thinking about starting up, what is it they do? An adventuring party, right? That's what you guys do around here, isn't it? Run around, killing monsters, saving magic stuff.
Getting gold?
Yeah, gold is great too.
Sleeping in dirt?
Wait, sleep in dirt? Why do you sleep in dirt?
'Cause if you're traveling, you don't really have a place to stay typically.
Yeah, I mean, you got a bedroll though, right? A tin?
If you feel like lugging that around.
Well, you seem pretty cool. Have you thought about joining the adventuring party? You know, maybe, And Perk kind of, like, looks to the three of them.
Is this how you normally try and pick up new recruits? Just find a naked guy you've never met in a sauna and
Chester
ask
punches
if he kills people?
Chester punches Perk on the shoulder, like, come on, Perk, will you leave him alone? Stop fucking with the guy. Listen, I'm sorry, he's drunk, and I think he's just trying to be a goof. We'll stop bothering you. As you guys are all kind of sitting around shooting the shit, you're interrupted suddenly by the gonging of a church bell, and then another one further in the distance, and then another, and another. And Perk sits up with a start, his eyes wide. Wait, that's not... You don't think... And then Wildfolk, I knew this was a bad idea. I told you both. Don't look at me. They said tomorrow. How was I supposed to know? And the three of them stand up and start to scramble towards the door. As it slams behind them, you hear, fuck, Chester, they'll court-martial us for this. Forget the court-martial. If we don't move, we're going to end up like one of them. There is a distant crack, a whistling scream, and a crash. The walls of the sauna splinter apart behind you, and in slow motion you watch as a cannonball emerges, flies past your head, missing you by inches, and then punches through the wall across from you. The sleeping tiefling startles awake at the explosion. What the fuck? Shit, they're here already! And he begins to scramble up. What do you do?
Boy, I guess I'm not associated with this at all. Well, first I'll go get my gun. And hopefully... How long does it take to put on my armor?
Cinematic time, but I would have to check. Let's go find out, actually. PF2 dawning.
Like, I'm not in plate armor.
Cinematic timing, like PF2 isn't going to have a 40-page rule book about.
They do 1 minute for light armor, 5 for medium or heavy.
A cannonball just went through the roof. Boy, I'll just grab it. I'm not going to put it on. I'll grab my gun, grab my dog slicer, and go over to the turtle. All right, time to go. And grab him by the back of the shell and start hauling him out.
All right. As you emerge and you start to grab him and you grab your gun, you see the trio doing the same. They're quickly throwing on their clothes. They're strapping on armor and weapons. Your heart sinks, perhaps, when you see Peanut throws on a bandana bearing Azantic colors. And it continues to drop as Chester grabs an Emmerich musket. Perk picks up an enormous tower shield emblazoned with the Drewski flag. They start to rush towards the door, but Peanut yells after them. Colors! Colors, you idiot! Colors! You want to end up on the wrong side of a musket like one of them? They take a moment to unfurl more of their clothing, sloppily donning Emmerich and Drewski military jackets. The turtle proprietor initially was starting to follow you, but he sees this, and then he ducks down and cowers behind the counter and begins to please don't Don't kill me. Take the money. Take whatever you want. And at this point, Perk the orc looks to you and to the old man. Relax, old-timer. It wouldn't be honorable. And he looks to both of you. You've been good to us. You stay down, get under something. Don't try anything funny. Maybe you'll... But he's interrupted by Peanut. Sharks! Perk, they're gonna have sharks. Oh, shit. He looks to you and to the turtle. You two best get running. West is no good. South neither. East maybe, if you avoid the siege line. Stick to the coast if you've got a ship. Chester interrupts. The fuck do you care, Perk? Come on, let's get the fuck out of here. And they all run out.
Well, I guess I gotta kill them all. Turns out this game was kill, kill, kill.
What do you do?
Oh boy. Can I make a perception check?
Absolutely.
Not to use it for actual perception like a real game would, but to insight Percy.
Certainly. Yeah, you're just trying to get like a sense motive for how he feels about you, whether he was giving you good intel. What are you looking for?
Right, like, were those directions legit?
Absolutely. You can give me a sense motive, which I believe is a perception check. Or if you wanted to, if it's better for you, you could give me a society check. The DC is definitely higher for that one. But you might get some slightly different intel. Let's see. He seems sincere. It seems that he had a good time, that he doesn't think it would be honorable to an attack like an unarmed dude or to get him killed for no reason. He seemed like he was genuinely having a good time. And he's not like intentionally leading you astray.
Cool. Then, yeah, I'll start heading out. Try and head to the. Do I see any like? Is there a tree line or anywhere that I could keep to cover?
Kind of. The problem is that as you step out the front door, you see some things to your west over by the tavern where you dropped off your passengers. And let me reveal some things. You see the weird little plant man that you picked up. One of the weird little fishmen, in fact, the leader, you think, the one that had all the money. The guy from that rich mage academy, who's probably loaded. And then a big old gaggle of frogs that all appear to be running towards the dock, where you know that the rest of your passengers and your crew and your captain are all waiting at your ship.
Did they pay me yet?
No, of course not. How am I going to get you to the docks if they've already paid you?
God damn it. Okay, fine.
Why is it not revealing these tokens? Come on, you can do it.
No, the system does reveal tokens.
I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
I think that's more of a program for a system than an entire system.
Totally does. This is upsetting. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you.
No, Roll20 is just fucked currently. Or, Andrews.
Oh, yeah, I think it is, like, lagging. A bunch of other stuff is not going through either.
Yeah, I just tried to move and it didn't.
Weird. Weird.
Maybe I didn't put 50 lights in every map.
I'll kill some lights, see if that does it. Although it seems to be a network thing. Hey, there we go.
I don't know, why did it go twice?
Hey, it's me. It's us.
Hey,
We're
it's
here.
You guys.
It's
You're here.
us.
hey.
How did we get here?
You guys each...
Are those my followers?
No, they
No.
sure aren't.
Oh, but they're so cute. Are
What are
those
Bubble's children?
All right.
They're so cute.
To do a brief recap for the rest of you now that you're visible. Gargle, your pilgrimage eventually led you to the city of Gorchiga, where you booked a ship down south. You got a great deal on it. There was this wonderful pirate group that offered to take you for a reasonable price. Mostly because a lot of your people offered to fight and literally die to protect the ship. And sure enough, several of them did. But you got a great deal because of it. Bobble, we pick up right where you left off. You were sitting in the tavern when suddenly cannon fire started to basically rocket through the city. A bunch of your friends offered to hold off a very large shark creature that came to attack while you try to get your family to the dock so they can get aboard your ship.
Foreshadowing for next session.
True. Crackers, you took the ticket that was handed you in the velvet bag, and this is where it led you.
Wow.
Pip, you just kept kind of going to sleep and waking up in different places. And
Yeah, that tracks.
eventually you found yourself here and met all these cool people that your mom seems very interested in, especially after she saw some of the things that they were carrying and talking about. You've basically been stalking them for 4 or 5 hours.
Terrific.
Until you met them at a tavern and started to ask some questions, but proper introductions are still in order. However, the proper introductions are going to have to wait, because currently you hear the sound of more of these little shark creatures coming around the corner, and they seem to lock eyes on the smallest and tastiest things here, which are these little Gripply children that Grandma Bobble is trying to get to the dock.
God damn it. Okay.
Let's roll initiative.
Every time I try clicking on it, you add something. Did it work?
I see you in combat, but then you need to go over to the initiative window and click the little die next to your name.
I did that, and I had to pop the window. I pushed OK, and nothing happened.
Weird. I don't see it. Try it one more time.
I had to do it again.
There we go. We got there.
Did I roll 2 natural 20s in a row?
You did. Your first roll was a 10. Okay, so let's set you to 10.
Oh, but what about my natural 20s? They don't count.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Me, I think, and my mom act on the same initiative. Yeah, of course we do.
Pretty
Never
sure
mind.
you do, yeah.
We do. Because we share actions and shit. Sharks.
Shark. Yeah. Does anybody like have good passive knowledge of animals?
Nope.
Cool.
Aren't these people?
Enough to know that sharks shouldn't be on land.
Correct. These sharks have 4 legs. They look kind of feline. They've got sharp claws, and they're kind of tiger striped. They look like tiger sharks.
Those are cute. Can we have one?
I don't know. Maybe. Son, you see all of this going down, including a bunch of sharks about to attack your passenger. What would you like to do?
Boy, okay. Well, first of all, because we rolled initiative, I'm going to use my reaction to that to draw both of my weapons, and then I get a free move.
Sick.
Can kind of close this distance a little, and then I am going to look through my action list here. Yep, I have nothing. Good. Cool. It is just in range. I am going to target this shark, and I'm going to shoot it.
All right.
Good.
Good start.
Oh.
As you're getting your bearings, you just kind of like trip a little bit on some rubble on the ground, and the shot goes a little wide.
So let me just add this to my sheet. Good start. And then I will not reload because I have 2 weapons.
Hell yeah.
Um,
My favorite part is that this is
that's
probably
not
the
that's
lowest.
not a good thing.
My favorite part is that this is probably the lowest AC monster you will ever fight, and you still managed to miss it on your first shot.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a problem when everything has 10 AC higher than.
Well, let's not pretend.
You
that
roll a
didn't just
natural
roll a
one.
natural one. All right. What else do you do?
I take a move action because I can't reload. So
All right. Sounds good. That brings us to
It
Yuga.
begins.
It begins. Yuga is gonna. I think she's.
I
Gonna
love that they're waving. Oh no, that's the other one.
Yuga looks to you, Bobble. Would you rather that she continues running off on her own or stays in the middle of all of you guys?
Yeah, why are you? Okay.
What do we do? What do we do?
What do we do? Yeah, these guys look hard, and you'll stay here, and then we'll fucking protect you, little shits. If you're all on your own, you're gonna get eaten by these things. We don't know how many there are.
All right, kids,
So-
husband bear formation, and you watch it. They all run up to the well and start to lower themselves down into the well,
Just like we taught you.
just like practice.
Just like you taught you when Dad got torn to shreds.
All right, sick. That brings us to Crackers.
My turn's easy. I'm just gonna obey Bubbles' commands. Bear formation. Let's go. Let me down.
No, you idiot!
I don't know how to deal with a monster.
You're supposed to be fighting them.
What do you mean?
All right. Anything else? 1, 2, 3. Cool. All right, Bobble.
You rat ass. Follow my example. I have an idea. I think it's stupid, but I think it'll work. Can I use telekinetic projectile to once again do the thing with this time launch it into one of the shark's mouths so that he can fuck up with the inside of them a bit?
Certainly. Again, he's gonna take damage along
He's
the way.
gonna take damage, but he doesn't fear for his life.
He doesn't fear for his life. So yeah,
doesn't-
so he can use his independent action. I guess here, let's find out if he's already standing on something launchable. We'll do a good old-fashioned luck check. Absolutely. He actually is currently perched on a pretty big rock that you could potentially fling.
A pretty big and sharp rock? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's an telekinetic projectile. This one, where's my fucking spells? There they are.
I will eventually
Maybe
come up with a
relevant.
hard rule for how this works. I'm just going to go with like half the damage of telekinetic projectile for now.
Alright.
What's up, Biscuit?
Yeah, slightly relevant. How much bulk is Pip?
I'll look this up while he's firing.
Bludgeoning, I'm assuming, by the way.
Yeah,
I
bludgeoning.
weigh,
I think it's
I weigh 20
one.
pounds.
Oh, you can telekinetic projectile Pip.
Oh.
I'm probably the same size.
Ah.
This is familiar.
3 for a small creature. 15 does... You're attacking the closest pup there?
Yeah, the closest one.
That is a hit. Roll me some damage.
Yeah.
Alright, 6 points of damage, which means Grits takes 3 points of damage. And goes flying over and kind of lands with a splat right kind of in this thing's mouth.
In this thing, okay, and he still has one more action, right?
Yeah, because he's independent. Yep.
Can you start tying its tongue together?
That will be difficult, but he can certainly try. Sure, why not? He can try to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a big size difference here. It is tiny to medium. You're not going to be able to do like a full grapple or anything like that, but I guess give me an acrobatic or an athletics check.
I mean, it's a tongue.
Yeah. We'll see how this goes. We'll see what happens. Let's get some dice about it.
Okay, sure. Sorry.
Let's see. His fort DC is 17.
Where the fuck's Grits? It's right here. This one. Grits' shit is not coming up. Can I just roll a d20?
Sure.
Whatever the
Yeah,
fuck it
that's
is? Okay.
Looks like
Oh,
he's
there
got
it is.
yeah, it took a second to catch
Well-
up. He got a +1. So he gets in there, and he is Grits is a little dismayed to find that, like most sharks, its tongue is very flat and round and doesn't really have a lot to tie. But at the very least, he starts, like, I don't know, wriggling around in this thing's mouth. If nothing else, he has certainly made himself a juicy target instead of attacking one of you people who does fear death.
That's good.
Although he is
Excuse me.
in its mouth. Yes.
I don't fear death.
Your mom kind of leans over. No, Pip, remember, we do fear death now.
Okay. Yes, I did. Did you see that kid's mom threw him at a shark? And he looks over at Gritzy.
Would you like to be thrown at the shark?
If you want. Why don't you go get the shark and I'll keep you safe, Mom?
All right.
Is Mom manifested currently?
Yeah,
I
so
assume so.
this definitely was a surprise situation, but they've had a few turns to run out of the tavern, so I'm giving them
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I didn't know if Mom has just been visible for the entire tavern visit.
Presumably, she has taught you, hey, maybe don't keep me out all over the place, but, you know, when you're in trouble. Okay. Bubble, I think you still have a third action, right? Because you've done 2 for telekinetic, and then he used independent to try to tie the tongue.
Last time I thought I had used Grits' action because I like to cling on to the whatever I told, but like since you're offering,
Yeah, go for it.
I guess I'm just gonna stride over to behind. No, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. What's the fucking stride button again? Select targets. Yeah, that one.
There we go.
Wait. Hold on. How do I move?
So it is the token controls, the little meeple up in the top left, the person, and then the select tokens box. And then click your token to select it with an orange border around it, and
Oh.
you should be able to drag it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna move behind Pip and Mom and be like, you're a mother too. Okay, we'll stick together.
Delightful.
It's called the shish kebab button.
The shish kebab button. Perfect. As you fling this rock at the pup, it is going to use its reaction to whimper and run away a little bit. And that brings us to Pip.
Okay, Mom, just be careful. And he gives her a little kiss on her cheek. And she skitters off on her awful little 8 grasshopper legs. That's one action, if I understand this system correctly.
Uh-huh.
As she's scampering off, Pip raises his little leaf hands and his little holly eyes glow a little bit. And he will cast a spell, a cantrip. Just to give her +1 AC and a little reaction that I guess I can use.
Excellent. So if you want, you can drag that Protect Companion effect onto your mom. And that should automatically adjust her AC. Or actually, it might have to be yourself since she uses your AC. I don't know. We'll find out. Try dragging it onto your mom first.
What do I drag?
Something on your mom.
So see the gray box that says Spell Effect Protect Companion over in chat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that
It
did.
worked.
It worked. Nice.
Outstanding. Okay, great. Where'd Mom go? Okay. And then, as Pip is casting that spell, Mom is just going to start wailing on this shark. Her like wasp. She puts her like big gnarly grasshopper legs around it and tries to stab it in its belly with her awful flaming wasp stinger.
Excellent.
Oh god, where'd her character sheet go?
I think you can double.
Alright, I can just double click her.
Yep.
It's not hard, it's easy.
It's easy.
Uh-oh, that's not very good.
11 is enough to hit still.
Huh.
Let's see. Go and roll me some damage. 9 points of fire. A little bit of evil damage, and this absolutely does apply. This is an enemy. Because we're using the alignment variant. Does that kill it? No, not quite. As this one...
I was going for the already injured one.
Oh, shit, just kidding. Heal. There we go. It is not quite enough to finish it off, but it is looking very hurt.
Cool, she just sticks her terrible, jagged stinger in and just like injects flaming oil into it and it starts burning from the inside out.
This thing just starts giving off these pitiful howls, trying to scamper away, but it's already used its reaction.
And if I'm doing my math right, I think that's 3 actions, which is the end of my turn.
Sure was. Let's go to the pub. The injured one is the first to act. In a panic, it is just going to bite down on the thing that's already in its mouth.
You go, grits. Terrible idea.
13?
That misses Mom. She's got 18 right now.
That was on Grits.
Oh. Poor
See, I need
Grits.
to move so I can target him. There we go. AC
Grits
is
is-
13, which means that is a hit. So here we go. Here's some bite damage.
Nice.
2 points of bite damage. He's not dead yet.
No.
Hold on, brother.
Don't forget, by the way, and you might not want to use it because that was low damage, but you do have a fancy reaction to protect your familiar when it takes damage.
The spirit thing, right?
Yeah, the your focus spell.
Yeah.
So if you want to use it, you can use it now. Otherwise, you can save it because here comes another bite. That one is a miss,
Nice.
and number 3 is a big old miss. All right, this thing acts mighty, but is still a fledgling hunter and is not quite able to get a good grip after that first bite. Which brings us to Gargle.
Okay, so Big Mama, she started right here, right?
Is Big Mama Bobble? Oh,
No.
Zeke's Big Mama. Yeah, or
Yeah.
Pip's Big Mama.
So did she like? What did I get with my life sense from her? If anything.
Your life sense is very special in that it can only detect undead, celestials, and fiends.
It also says
Oh, and
demons.
demons, yeah. She is a fiend. 100% for sure, she is a fiend. You would actually... I'll let you do a check. If you want to spend an action in combat, you can do it. Otherwise, for now, you just get that she's a fiend.
Okay, so like, okay, I wasn't sure like what I would get for that. Looking around, do I see like a body of water or like a barrel of water? Like not the well because the water's too far down.
Let's see. Give me a luck check. The DC is going to be we'll call the DC 85 on this one.
Where can I find dice?
Ooh, I don't know if there's like a built-in dice tray for this. You should just be able to type /R 1d100 though. Like that. I'm sure there's a dice tray add-on I can grab. 78. There is a very small half-empty bucket. It's only got like 2 inches of water in it, sitting next to this cart.
That doesn't help me. Damn. All right. Gargle looks quite frightened. He kind of takes a step back, looks around, notices the only body of water is a small, practically empty bucket of water. Takes a deep breath, holds his arms out, and all the beads on his arms start to rapidly spin around his arms until it's just rings of light. And then 8 little beads of light shoot off of him towards probably the one that's already wounded.
Excellent. As a reminder, you can hover over something and press T to target it, and then it'll automatically tell you if you hit or miss, and it'll apply the damage to them.
Oh shit. Do I need to do it? They didn't do it at all, did it?
Choose the type that you're using. It doesn't really matter a ton because we're doing the variant alignment. There you go, and then hit attack. 19 is a solid hit. Give me some damage. Excellent.
And then only one of the little beads misses.
Perfect. 7 holy damage rips through this thing. Your god approves of you destroying this thing for certain, and it drops.
I assume Mom recoils in horror at the holy damage.
Kind of, yes. So to be clear, this is both a new to Pathfinder thing and a variant rule that we're using. In Pathfinder, alignment damage only hurts things that are opposed to that alignment normally. We're using the alignment variant rules, which basically say it's all just kind of divine damage, and it works if your god opposes what you're fighting. And in this case, the two of you are fighting a shared enemy. This bolt probably wouldn't hurt your mom.
Well, that's good.
She would probably be totally immune to this bolt.
If you hurt my mom, I'll rip your heart out. He doesn't say that.
Say like, why would you think I was gonna hurt your mom?
He doesn't say that.
And then
I
as my
just
next,
say it.
so what are the rules for multiple spells?
There's no penalty for casting multiple spells as long as you have enough actions to do it. You've already used 2 actions. If you had a 1-action spell, you could cast it.
I do.
Really quick question, if you don't mind to interrupt. Just resource management question here. When do we get spells back? Like, what's a long rest in the
Daily.
system?
A long rest is a night of sleep. Focus spells you get back with 10 minutes of rest if you have any focus spells, which I think you do.
I do, yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
So you'll probably get focus spells back between each fight, most of the time.
All right. And then I'm gonna look at Sun since he had his. Did your gun jam when you did a natural one, or is it just a fuck up?
No, it only does that if I don't tell Feck that I cleaned my gun.
Yeah.
Did you?
That's not even a joke. Like, this generally a rule.
I didn't hear you tell Feck that you
You didn't get the sauna package.
Probably jammed then.
Cleaning the gun.
No, I assume that you maintain your gun at all times unless there's an extenuating circumstance.
That sounds pretty fun, Feck, and I know the rules.
No fun allowed in the system. I'm sorry.
Here,
We are
I'm
going to
gonna-
bend that rule a little bit for this campaign.
I'm gonna cast one of Drake's least favorite spells in the whole game on him.
Cool.
I'm gonna cast guidance on him. So one of my little beads flies off of my of my wrist, and it starts to go around your head and starts to rapidly spin, giving you a tiny little halo. And you have a +1 to one of the shits you do.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And an important distinction in Pathfinder 2, fucking everything is a check. Attacks are checks. Saving throws are check. Checks are checks. So that applies to all of those things.
Yeah, and as this little bead is spinning around, you can kind of hear the mutterings of a brutal prayer inside of it. That's helping you focus.
All right. This
Is you a legitimate cleric?
what a great question.
What is a legitimate cleric?
I mean, mechanically.
You'll have to find out.
God damn it.
It'll become very obvious very
Yeah,
quickly.
the moment I do anything that's like my class specific, it's gonna be very obvious. But that's my turn.
All right. This northern
Is there an
boy-
intern button, or is that a different thing we
I
did?
think there is, but I've got it for now. Don't worry about it. This northern boy is going to use an action to strike to flank Mom, and then gonna chop. Flanking means that she is flat-footed, which means she suffers a little bit of an AC penalty. Specifically, -2. That is not enough, I think. No, missed by 5. He'll use the third action with a shred. But is unable to connect.
She's just too wet.
Too wet, too slippery. The fire keeps
Your mom's
bursting up.
too wet.
My mom is really wet. She's
Oh.
very slippery.
Jesus. That brings us
Don't
to...
touch my mom's secretions. They're hot.
Oh, God.
Her hot.
At least I'm not the only secreting mother here.
Hot secreting mother, don't forget.
Uh,
Yeah. This one's already in position. Let's fucking go. Strike with map. God damn it. Roll well.
Get him,
Nice.
Mom.
Come on, 3. Nah.
How many penalties are on that 7 though?
A lot. There's Protect Companion and... Oh, no, the Flatfoot's a help. Just kidding. Alright, these things all do everything that they can, but the flames kind of roiling off of her skin, just every time they get a shot lined up, she is able to kind of pull a leg up like a cricket before their bites and their swipes clamp in. However, at the end of the round, the mewling of the one that is bleeding and dying out on the ground seems to have attracted the attention of something a little bigger.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's the mummy.
Uh-oh.
I thought the other PCs were handling.
What?
Oh, yeah, let's go. And yeah, you guys are actually, you'd be able to see.
Oh, I think you said mummy, like an Egyptian undead. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Alright, Mother joins the battle.
Mama.
Mother is going to use 2 actions. Will that give me far enough? No, let's going to use 1 action to stride.
Stranger danger.
And then 2 actions to pounce. She leaps over here, lands, and will chomp Mom with a +1 bonus from the pounce. Unfortunately, she does not get flat-footed because she's not flanking. But a 26 lands.
Oh, that'll do it.
Not a crit, only a hit for 13 points of piercing damage.
Ooh, Jesus.
Can we flavor the attack like it's swinging a purse?
If the purse is
That'd
a
be
mouthful
perfect.
of teeth, absolutely. As the teeth sink down around your mom, you feel this biting, clamping in your chest pip. It is very unpleasant. But that is Mom's turn, which brings us to, or well, Tiger Mom's turn, which brings us to Sun.
Cool. I waste an action reloading.
Uh-huh.
And then I will spend an action to move. And spend my last action shooting her in the face.
Excellent. You are flanking with Grits.
I forgot to target.
Sorry, I was gonna bring it up on my turn, but I'm unless I did use Face Familiar on that last turn, Grits is dead. He had
Okay.
5 hit
Then
points.
feel free to go and use Face Familiar if you want to.
All right.
Because I think it's
Can I
just a
use it
reaction
for
then
the
focus spell.
Can I use it for the 3 points of damage?
Sure, why not? Oh, that's fine. I'm into
All
that.
right.
Oh, hey, also, sorry. I have a reaction that I cast a whole spell to get. Hold on. Life block.
Learning.
When she takes damage, I can use my reaction and reduce the damage by 10, but I lose 5 hit points. We have a shared hit point pool, so essentially, like, reduce the damage by 10. It was what, 13 damage?
Yeah.
So it becomes 3 damage, but I take 5 damage, so essentially it becomes 8 instead of
10.
13.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Or 8 instead of 13. Cool. Alright, that brings us back to Sun, who has just hit, not quite a crit, but go ahead and roll damage.
Shocking.
6 points of piercing. And this thing turns to snap towards you, the flash of the gun. That's 3 actions. I believe it is Guga. Who just keeps stuffing her kids in the well. And that brings us to Crackers.
Well, I am also throwing her kids down the well.
No, go help. You've got a knife. I don't have a knife.
I'm helping!
Don't be such a coward.
I'm trying to climb in the well.
Alright, sure.
I'm not a coward!
Give me athletics or acrobatics, either one.
No, I think it's better if I have to help. Okay.
Alright,
I
there's no
understand.
real... Yeah, you get down here and they are
We're
all
a
like...
party.
They're filling up the well and like literally like, no, go.
Oh, that's not T, that's R. Okay, I see.
True.
So is this is like
You're up on a
this is
little
not a
hill.
wall.
Yeah,
It's a little hill, okay.
Yeah, a little hill, and you're currently at altitude, so you can see down it. 1 action stride.
Crap.
You can...
Can I slide down
Yeah,
there?
absolutely. Yeah, it's shallow enough that you can slide as part of that stride. In fact, you get a small movement speed for doing so. You can move an extra 5 feet if you want. That's rules as written.
Wild.
Sure.
I think Crackers is gonna grab a pebble off the ground and just chuck it at this mommy shark. We're just gonna chuck it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Hey.
22 is a hit. Roll me some damage. For 8 points of damage. It smacks in just a little bit south of the eye, kind of where the cheekbone would be. And I believe that is 3 actions. Brings us to Bobble.
Yeah. Good, but so, I'm going to cast Protect Companion on Pip here.
Thanks.
And be like, your mom's a bit busy. Someone needs to take care of you right now. And there. That's the first 2 actions.
So importantly, Protect Companion under targets, it says your Eidolon or a creature with the minion trait under your control. So this is something you can cast on your familiar, but not on like a party member.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Never mind. Fine. This.
I appreciate the thought. Thanks, Aunt Bobble.
You're welcome.
He's small enough that he could be your familiar, but you know.
I got confused.
Sorry, I'm taken.
Okay. Does haunting him affect everyone?
Ooh,
Or just-
good question. Let me find out.
It doesn't even have a range here. It just happens.
It is a 15-foot cone. And yeah, by default, everything is friendly fire. So everything in a 15-foot cone would hear it and be hurt by it.
Shit. Huh. Okay. Bobble is going to saunter right up to the baby shark and mama shark on this side.
Excellent.
I'm pretty sure I get like some bonus from flanking or whatever.
If you were to be here, you would flank with Mom. You could do that if you stand next to Sun right here on the right.
Okay. Nah. Because Grim Tendrils shoots out in
sick.
a straight line.
Hell yeah. All right. 1 action stride, 2 actions to cast Grim Tendrils. A line of dark energy bursts out. 30-foot line, and everything in that line needs to make a fort save. Let's go. Baby succeeds, but not critically. Mama critically succeeds. So Mama takes nothing, but the baby takes half of the negative damage, which is... Go and roll me some damage. Excellent. And as they do, they will howl out in pain as well with their reaction to Mule. Try to step away from you.
Do you get a reaction with that? Or?
If you have opportunity attack, you would, but it was a step. Steps don't trigger opportunity attack.
All right.
And after hurting the pup, the mama, hearing the mule, uses her reaction to stride up to your face. And I believe that is 3 actions for you. But your familiar still is independent, yeah.
Grits is independent, and you can decide if you want to do something with him.
Excellent. So Grits doesn't fear death, and that plan ate an attack earlier. I think he tries to do the same thing to the other pup. So give me another athletics check to try to like get in this thing's mouth and soak up an attack.
All right. Go, Grits. Oh,
Oh, that's real good. Yeah, that's great. That beats the fort DC of these pups. So he is able to get in there, and in a weird, he actually slides under the tongue in such a way that he's like being extremely annoying, but has like some protection from the teeth. So I'll give, we'll call it cover. We'll give it cover against the bite attack that he's trying to take.
hell yeah.
All right, that brings us to Pip.
Okay. Pip. Pip is just like hands up in the air, kind of cheering. It's like, "Go, Mom, you can do it." I'll cast
Bless Pip.
Boost Eidolon.
Boost Eidolon.
Does that work?
Looks like it, yeah.
And then Mom is going to try to sort of essentially scamper onto the back of this big mama shark and start just stabbing it over and over.
Excellent. Mom is flanking with Sun, so you get a bonus.
Ooh. How nice. Do I need to do anything on my end to make that
If
happen?
you hover over the big shark and press T, it'll target. There you go.
Oh, intrigue.
Yeah.
And then if I just roll my attacks, it'll automatically factor that on in.
Exactly.
God, how cute.
Uh, 20 is a hit. Give me some damage. For 11 points of fire damage and a little bit of evil.
Cool. She climbs on the back and she bites her like mandibles down into like the spine of this thing, and then those terrible like mycelia root tendril things all start like burrowing into its flesh and like digging into its body.
Ugh, hate that.
Me too. Second attack. I guess this is multi-attack penalty. Do I need to do anything with that factor in too?
So I think there should be a separate button that says like map -4 or -5, depending on if it's agile.
This is what happens when one mom tries to discipline another's kid at the Chuck E. Cheese. They all just gang up on her.
I don't see a box here that says
So-
like multi-attack. I'm just gonna roll it.
Yeah, roll it, we'll see what happens. It doesn't have it built in, so -4 for... Oh, here we go. On Pip's mom's sheet, under the actions page, it shows her, like, primary strike. And that second blue box,
Oh,
map
I see
-5.
it. I see it. I'm sorry.
There you go. But for now, we can just take 20 -5, which I believe is still a hit. 20 -5 is still a hit because of the flat foot. So roll me some damage. For a little bit more damage, 8 points. Alright, that is 3 actions.
Yep, that's it for me.
Gargle.
Alrighty. Gurgle seems a little shaken. He's seen too many people already die on his little mission he's been on. He's going to... do a few different things. He's going to run up over... Is this next to the Big Mama or
it
the
is,
little
yeah.
one?
And I think if you hover over, it shows the spaces that she is occupying. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And he kind of feels this power that he probably hasn't really tapped into before. You guys see as the beads all turn black, his teeth grow like big and sharp, his fins stick out, his eyes glow radiant before like narrowing into like a little slit pupil, and then the rest of his eyes turn black, and he reaches out and he grabs at this shark and starts to try to rip its soul out.
Fucking wild.
He needs to make a saving throw as I try to rip sympathy from it.
Alright, DC 17 will say. It is able to resist a little bit. It takes half of the damage here. Go and give me a... 2 points of psychic damage as you begin to just pull on this thing's spirit, try to draw it in. It largely resists, but you do see that it kind of winces in pain.
Gotcha. There's no limit on how many focus spells you could do other than just how many focus points you have, right?
Correct. However, for an oracle, there are additional things that happen when you cast a focus spell. Yeah.
Sure, but I think that attack takes plays on my next turn?
I would have to look. I'll look. But in the meantime, I believe that was all of your actions.
Nope, that was only one action. That was 2 actions. It was
you're
one
right.
action to move, 1 action to use that focus spell.
Correct. Let's see. So success, take half damage. It looks like frightened 1 is only on a failure. Cool.
So I just need to know if I need to do my curse or not.
Assume not for now, and I'm looking it up. So go ahead and take your third action for now, and we'll figure it out.
Okay. He's just gonna try it again. Just not really sure what he's doing. He's just ripping and tearing, and he's making another saving throw.
This time, it fails entirely, so it will take full damage, and it also becomes frightened. For 2 points, plus the important part, fear.
Yeah, and then the beats turn back to, like... He just turns back to normal, and he seems not happy with what just happened. That's me.
Excellent. It appears that you start taking all of the effects immediately, but I'll look into it more after session.
Okay, I'll look it up too, right now.
Alright, that brings us to the 2 pups. The southern one is going to use 1 action to stride so that it can flank Bobble. And then it is going to try to chomp. Uh, 20 does hit for 7 points of piercing damage on you, Bobble.
Right.
And then with its third action, it is going to try to shred with claws.
Not hit Bobble.
21 would be a critical hit. However, you have a special reaction for this, I think.
Yeah. Hold on.
This thing is indeed a beast if you wanted to use your Hunter's Defense.
I'll use Hunter's Defense. Okay. Yeah.
All
that
right.
one.
Sick. That means that instead of your normal AC of 11, you use your Nature DC, which is 15, which turns that into just a regular hit instead of a crit.
Okay.
So you only take 3 points of damage there.
Alright.
I'm watching you see. Alright, that is that pup. The other one is already flanking Mom. Oh no, the other one has fucking grits in its mouth. Alright, here we go. Grits has a +2 to his AC because of cover.
What is a grit?
Yeah, we introduced Bobble and Grits last session, but it's new to Crackers. Or is this a reference? Is this a...
I don't know who they are, either.
I think this is actually a my cousin Vinny reference.
Describe
Yes.
grits to us real quick.
Your mom, but worse and smaller.
Perfect.
Thanks, how many grits?
Alright, a 19 I think is still going to hit, but it will not be a crit. For only 3 points. Do you already used your reaction on the Hunter's defense thing? So I
Yeah.
think Grits takes those 3 points and dies.
Damn it. Alright.
But he has served well. Then the pup is going to turn over to Mom.
There's something funky that happens with Bobble where like they do like start feeling for their chest a bit when Grits dies.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, is that literally Bobble's heart? Oh my god.
Here you go with map on Mom. And with big map on Mom.
Sorry.
Oh, that's a crit on double map. Oh wait,
What?
no, it's not. Oh, it was
It's
just on my
missed,
screen.
bro.
Yeah, just kidding. It bumped on my screen and showed a 20, and I got so excited. All right. Top of the round, Big Mama's turn. The Azantic Tiger Shark. Boy. Frightened. This is the worst. Gonna leap. Gonna leap. Behind Sun and Gargle. And then, let's see, we'll go one top, two bottom. Gonna try to bite Sun.
Whoa.
Look out!
For a critical hit, because it's straight, and of course I critically hit him. God forbid. God forbid the dice show him any mercy whatsoever. And max damage. This is the worst. That might knock Sun out.
It's 32 damage over on the level 1 character. What do you think?
Alright, second action then. Gonna swipe at Gargle.
Is there overkill damage?
If I do twice your maximum HP.
That's exactly twice my maximum HP.
He can't go this way. He's afraid of me.
It's
I'm gonna give you 1 point so that the campaign doesn't immediately end here. You're down and making death saves.
are you sure you want to do that?
What are the effects of frightened on this creature?
It lowers the attack roll, not the damage roll.
Could it move this direction towards me?
Yeah. So frightened doesn't have a thing where you can't move towards them in this system.
Oh, okay.
Sun is down and making death save. I'm not going to immediately kill your level 1 character. With
I do have one other question.
Yes, shoot.
Last time when Sun made an attack, you said he was close to making a critical hit. Was he just one off from it? Because he had a guidance.
That was already applied.
I think it was already
okay.
built in, yeah.
Okay, I apologize then.
Alright. Let's see. Sun drops 2. Unconscious. Dying. Where is it?
So this is comparable to 5e, right? These on death saving throws?
So he is effectively on death saving throws and can be brought back up.
Oh, it's much worse.
Okay.
It's much
Right.
worse.
I just mean mechanically what's happening is he's making death saves.
Correct. So several things happen in PF2 when you drop to Z. You drop prone, you become unconscious, you become flat-footed, a whole bunch of shit like that. His initiative changes to go right before the thing that downed him, so it bumps up to here. That way he doesn't immediately... Well, so the idea is...
Oh, yeah, I guess that's good.
Right, he would have gone next and would have immediately had to make a death fail, which could have been bad. But it does also suck because it means now permanently he has lost some initiative. And the important thing is that when he comes up, he's going to have a stack of the wounded condition, which makes him closer to death in the future. Specifically, it means that if he goes down again, he'll start with an extra death save. In Pathfinder 2, you die at 4 fails, not 3. And the number of fails you've already failed makes the DC harder. But we'll deal with that if it gets to him and he's still down. For the time being, we're going to swipe at Gargle. Hey, Drake, I think you have bad luck. I think you actually have prescriptive bad luck and the universe hates you. Oh, never mind.
I also got a natural 20.
I just understand bad game design. And everyone should start listening to me.
Well, shit. I mean, Gargle might be about to join you. Let's find out.
Yeah, I have 16 health points, so...
26. So Gargle also drops.
Don't worry, guys. I'll take care of you.
This thing is fucking dangerous.
If things receive healing, they get up from the dying
Correct,
condition. I
yeah.
presume.
Even a single point of healing will do it.
We remain wounded, though, which fucks up all of our checks.
Yeah. Wounded still sucks, I just mean. Just make sure getting you up was the same.
Yep. Well, that's 3 actions. Let's go to... Or, well, we got a bump. Gargle. It goes to Gyuga. And then to Cracker.
They're having fun in that world. They're feeling patty cake.
Okay. Boy, oh boy. So Cracker's slid down the little hill, and he continues to slide until he's adjacent to the shark. No!
Excellent.
And then we're gonna try to do one of these. Oops, no, not one of those. Oh, one of these. I mean, unless I already had it up.
Yeah, you guys
I
already
didn't
have
have it.
You guys were surprised in the tavern, but a couple rounds passed while we were going through the rest of Sun's story, so you had time to draw shit.
Oh, you know?
Just
No, I'm not
negate
gonna
all
do
of
that.
Drake's features. It's whatever.
Only Only for this.
I'm gonna bite him. I'm gonna bite
It's
him.
fine, I'm dead anyway, so.
So I guess you did just get to let him live. So
11, no good. Missed by 2.
I'll take death. I don't need pity.
what a quote.
Missed by 1. Perfect. All right, I believe that is 3 actions. That was a move and 2 stabs, which brings us to Bobble.
Yeah. Will my him damage them even though they're down already?
Great question. I think they will take a death fail immediately, but let me check.
Damn it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. So, a thing that's very important in Pathfinder 2 is the concept of tags and trait. Haunting him has the auditory trait, which means it only works if the target can hear the effect. They are unconscious and can hear nothing.
Awesome.
That's not how being unconscious works.
Real talk. This is completely rules as written. While you're unconscious, you do not hear.
Yeah, I understand that that's the rule.
It's because you don't. I think it's because you don't. Just because yes, your body hears noise. Like noise happens, but like you don't process it, and you have to process the sound in order for it to affect you. Is what I assume.
Right. So theoretically, and if you're an experienced occult caster, you know that you could safely do it on them because they're unconscious.
Awesome. So, sorry, I guess. Hold on, let me measure it out. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, sorry, Pip and but so after Grits fucking dies, Goggle kind of keels over in pain, seemingly, and this horrible discordant melody starts emanating from them. It doesn't even look like it's coming from their mouth, but they are doing the frog thing of the like expanding chin. I don't know what they call it.
Oh hell yeah, the like belly thing or whatever it is.
Yeah, the little belly thing. They look like they're in massive pain, a lot of pain while this happens. So haunting him. Yeah.
All right, sick. And this, I assume, is pointed towards the big tiger shark, or is it over towards the little one?
Isn't it? Didn't you just say a 15-foot cone?
That's a 15-foot cone, so you kind of point it in whatever direction you want.
Oh, yeah, it's pointing at the big one then.
Over here. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. This is a basic fort save.
Everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Everything sucks.
Let's see. Perfect. Unfortunately, on a critical success, it takes no damage. That was 2 actions.
Yep. Last action gonna be to just, I guess, wander up, yeah.
Don't go too far.
Yeah, the shark has opportunity. I don't know.
No, I'm gonna heal you. if we can talk in combat.
Sure. A little bit.
All right. I mean, I'm just gonna stand by. Will I be flanking it if, with crackers? If I'm standing like.
Yeah, if you stand in like either of these spots, you'd be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna like hobble over here.
All right.
To flank it with crackers.
You're relieved to find that the pup does not have opportunity attacks, and now flanking.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You need to be one farther up here. I was mistaken. Yep. Oh. There we go. Yeah. All right. That brings us to Pip.
Okay. Stupid shit. Okay. Pip is like, yeah, you can see that whenever Mom takes damage, Pip like starts to wilt a little bit. The edges of his leaves go a little bit sort of dark and soggy, and his eyes glow a little bit less. And speaking of his eyes, he's like, guys, watch this trick my mom taught me. Mom, watch. And he reaches up and rips both of his eyes off of his face, the 2 like red holly berries. And then he like gets down on his little like vine and twig knee and digs a little tiny hole in the ground and buries both the little berries in the ground and scoops some dirt over them. And then he starts muttering some incantations. And when he's through, like vines and twigs and like roots, like race across the ground out towards Mom and Gargle and Sun and Bobble.
See, this is Pathfinder. That was like 8 actions.
It was all 3 of my
It is
actions.
3 actions, yep.
Hey, max heal.
But for 3 actions, you get a max heal, AoE heal. Everybody, everything within 30 feet of you, all targets living, the targets all living undead creatures in the first. Okay. Everything within 30 feet of you receives 8 healing. That includes the downed people, but it does also include the tiger shark.
Oh, I can't choose targets?
Correct.
Really? Well, that's some bullshit. I'll still do it, though.
Still seems like a good trade. Bubble, you also get 8 hit points.
Okay, I added that.
Sick. You get 8 to yourself. Looks like you already did it.
Do I need to check off a wounded?
When you come up is when you get your wounded stack. So as you guys come up, you can right-click die, and it should get rid of a bunch of this stuff for you. Oop,
I got Sun, too, right?
I did get some as well, yeah. You're not dead. We're learning the system. You have one. You're fine.
Fine. I'm just saying, I have like 8 character sheets ready to go.
Hey, for the record, if you would rather swap to a character after the session, I'm totally cool with it. But, you know, session's not over yet, so you're not dead yet. You can die later. Die in your own time.
And then, yeah, after that's done, the vines and twigs and or roots and stuff start to sink back into the ground, and Pip stands up, and he's like... and then 2 new eyes sprout from his face.
Is he
fucking
shitting
excellent.
him out of his...
Amazing.
That's my turn.
Alright. That brings us to the pups. This lower one comes down to you, Pip. First action, step. Second action, chomp.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, stand by. Chat has alerted me to one of my abilities that maybe I have.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, with Act Together, your Eidolon can also take 1 action. Yep.
Why? How?
Yeah, shit, we've been fucking this up the whole time. So a core feature of the Summoner is they have a feature called Act Together. Anytime that you use any number of actions, 1, 2, or 3, your Eidolon also gets 1 action. Or vice versa. If your Eidolon does 1, 2, or 3 actions, you get 1 action.
My god.
So during that heal, she could attack.
Can they do
Yeah.
that on reaction moves? I thought it was only 1 or 2.
It
It might be 3.
I believe it is if they do any number of actions, then your buddy also gets an action.
Okay. Right, it's just written stupid.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Summoner. Act Together.
I just posted it.
Cool. Oh, hey, you sure did.
When I read this the first time, I assumed it was just a weird way of phrasing that we share our action pool. Is that not what it's saying?
So it's a weird way of saying that you get 4 actions instead of 3, but 1 has to be used for either you or the Eidolon.
Correct, yeah.
And the other 3 have to be used for the other person.
Well, that's phrased terribly. Okay.
Yes.
Story of the system. Mom
Yeah.
will make an attack on this tiger ship.
Alright, fire away.
It's unnecessarily complicated.
That is a hit, possibly a crit. Hang on, let's see.
Oh, if it was a crit, I shouldn't have rolled so fast. Sorry.
That's okay, because crits are just
Forgot how crits work in this world.
crit is just a double. So that doubles to 16.
Double everything? Double the modifier and
Doubles
everything?
everything, yep.
Jesus. Yes,
That
well,
pup is looking very bad, and it will use its reaction to Mule. It takes a step away.
cool. Mom, like, skitters onto its face. She wraps her, like, 8 grasshopper legs around, like, its gills. And then she, like, mandibles around either side of its eyeball. And then those awful, awful mycelia tendril, like, reach behind its eyes and into its eye socket. And it, like, scurries away and accidentally plucks its eye out.
That's the worst, thank you.
And she eats it.
Alright. Jumping back to the future, the pup next to you runs up, uses 1 action to stride, second action to chomp. 20 is a hit. For 8 points of piercing. Follow up with a shred. Which does just hit. For 4. Wait, oh god, yeah, no, don't take 17 damage, Jesus.
So I can't figure out how to do this.
Gotcha.
I
That is
got
the
there.
This pup is injured. It is on 1 point. It is going to use an action to stride. A second action to stride. Over to Mom. Third action, bite crackers. For a crit. The dice are intent on me killing all of you today. 12 points of damage to crackers. And that brings us to Sun.
Cool. Stand up with one action. So I'm not level 7 yet, and that I will I shot last round, right?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Question for the teacher. When you are knocked unconscious, do you fall prone, and how does getting up from prone work?
Standing up from prone is one action, which he's already spent.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
away for a second.
Standing up also triggers attacks of opportunity.
Sure
Because
does.
it counts as movement.
Yep.
Well, I guess I will fuck up everything that I'm doing, and I will take a swing with my dog slicer.
Excellent. There we go. 13 is a hit. Roll me some damage. Max damage for 8 points.
Then I need to check a thing. Right, because I hit with a ranged strike, it's 5-footed, but it was already 5-footed anyways, so fuck my life.
Second hit for another 2 points,
You know, like guns do.
like guns do. This thing is bleeding from its gill. One of its eyes has started kind of white over a little bit, but it is still in the fight.
Cool. I wish this sheet had a thing for whether or not my gun is loaded.
Oh, that would be good. We can probably set up a toggle for it. I'll look into it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'll bring us to Gargle.
Okay, I have a few questions.
Uh-huh.
One, can I just crawl away?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's half speed. Let me check. Yes, to crawl, you spend one action and you can move 5 feet.
Only 5 feet?
Correct, only 5 feet.
Second question. Sun just did attacks. What did he just attack with? He did weapon attack, like 2 different weapon attacks?
Yeah, he's got like a weird goblin dagger, and then he's also got a dueling pistol.
He seems to favor his pistols, though.
Ideally.
Does it, or did he just, they're empty now?
Yeah.
I just saw him reload it, right? It just takes like what? It just didn't take him very long to load it, though.
It takes extremely long to load it.
Like one action?
Kind of. He can reload it with an attack, but then that fucks up his gun attack, so...
No, so you're using something that's just a one-action reload pistol, right? It's not like it has a magazine. Yeah, it's normally one action. He has some weird ways to do it if he wants. But yeah, you saw him fire a shot, and then he can reload it with
Gotcha.
an action, yeah.
Alright, I'm going to reach up and cast a spell. And you just see some of the beats fly up and just fly inside your gun, and you now have a magic weapon. And,
On the pistol.
Yeah. Since
Sick.
these are what you're favoring.
Thank you.
So +1 and does double dice damage. Is it bad to stay on the ground?
You're flat-footed. It will have a much easier time attacking you. It could be good against ranged attackers, but there's none here right now. Probably bad. Probably a bad idea.
Gotcha. All right, I guess I'll use my last action to stand up then, so I can't really get away.
Oh, since we're new to Pathfinder, Drade is correct. It standing up counts as movement. If this thing had opportunity attacks, that would potentially trigger it. But you've seen he stood up.
Crawling away. So it sounds like if you're knocked to the ground, there's no safe way to get up.
Right.
Then,
you either have to stand up or crawl, and they both trigger. I don't think you can step while crawling. I assume that's not true.
No, you can't.
Yep.
All right, then I will stand up then.
All right. That brings us to Mama. Let's see. Mama just saw.
He might not be frightened anymore.
True. Frightened is gone. Mama just saw Mom nearly kill this pup, but also Mama's surrounded. Like, fully surrounded. Let's see. You're no longer flat-footed because you stood up. You're no longer flat-footed. Bobble. Why is Bobble flat-footed? Is that intentional?
Because she's a frog, they have flat feet.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Mama's gonna go for Bobble.
Wonderful.
Good luck.
Grandma, no!
16 would be a hit. You have your reaction back.
Okay, yeah, I'll use the hunter's thing.
Alright, that bumps that down to 12, effectively, which makes it a miss.
Yep.
Following up with a shred. And one more.
I parry her purse with my own.
Excellent. Alright, this thing, fully surrounded, begins to panic, swiping all towards you. But you are very in tune with fighting beasts and are able to dodge all those attacks. That brings us to Hugaw and then Crackers. Hugaw sees you dodge this giant thing 8 times your size and just cheers you on from the well. Crack.
Wow.
Yay!
I have just been bitten by a giant creature covered in teeth, and it is biting me, and I do not know how to deal with this. I'm gonna bite it back. We're biting it back.
Sure, go for it. Jesus Christ, 19 hits, roll some damage.
God almighty.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You find one of this thing's cold, dead, black eyes and bite directly into it. It lets out this horrible snarl and snaps its head in your direction.
One more! One
luck.
more time!
Oh my god, Biscuit.
Save us.
You guys remember that time this nerdy-ass Crackers bit a shark to death? Because I do.
Nerdy ass crackers is the worst slip yet. It's the campaign's young.
Oh, yeah, we're the night is young. We have plenty
And
of time to
then-
top that one.
The children! The children!
The younglings! Not the younglings! The youngling dodges. Unfortunately, a 2 is not enough to land on the pup. That's 3 actions. That brings us to Bobble.
Okay, so Spirit Object is under my hex spells, but it also is under a thing called it's a cantrip instead.
Yeah, and that basically means it is a hex spell, it is a focus spell, but it doesn't take a focus point, so you can cast it for free. The only reason it could ever possibly matter is you can't cast more than 1 hex spell on a turn, so you couldn't do Spirit Object and then also do another hex spell on the same turn.
Pip looks like he's in danger. But
Help.
is yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure my mom will save me.
All right. Yeah, it is your turn next. So what the fuck? Bobble's gonna use Spirit Object under the last surviving target, tiger shark, and make some like grass under it grow into like some very like gross looking like but very sharp aortas that come up and stab it.
Ooh boy, hate that.
uh, yeah. This. All right. Attack. Go for it. Yeah.
Oh no! Boy, these dice, they want everyone to. Alright, that is either 1 or 2 actions. How do you decide that? If you spend 2 actions, it can move first. Okay, I see. Or no, it attacks if you use 2 actions. Okay, so you've used 2 actions.
Yeah. Fuck it. Bobble, I would say sit. He's gonna sit and like have a cigarette or something, but like that standing up's an action apparently. So,
Hey, get this, you'll love this. So is falling prone.
We already went over this. No
Okay.
fun
Yeah.
allowed.
Fine, I can be useful. I'll walk back over to the yeah. I'll walk back over to the other tiger shark and
Alright, sick. And that provides some flanking for Pip.
yeah, like it.
Alright, sick. Pip, you're up.
All right. Mom comes rushing to her baby's aid. That's 1 action.
Mama, stick together.
Act together.
Slimy mama.
This is wild. Pip will, with his act together shit. What does he do? What? Pip will, kind of just like cower and put their hands in front of their face, like, "Oh, Mom, help!" And cast a spell.
Excellent.
Oh, loud. And then that leaves Mom with 2 actions to attack.
17 is a hit. For 7.
And the second.
Uh, 12 is a hit. For another 9.
His mom just starts like shredding the shark, tearing bits of flesh off with her awful mandibles and like stabbing it in the stomach over and over with the flaming oil. And that's my turn.
Alright, as this thing takes damage, it howls out in pain, looks around for its mother's help, and when it doesn't find one, or it doesn't find her, or rather when it sees that the mother has already been killed, it becomes frightened. That brings us to the pup. It... Yeah, it's an animal. It runs away. 1 action step. 2 action step. 3 action stride. This one... I'm gonna
What
give
was
this...
the difference between a step and a stride?
Stepping is like the PF2 equivalent of disengage. You move 5 feet, but it doesn't trigger opportunity attacks.
Oh.
This one up top will do the same. But it only has to step once to get off crackers. And then 2 stride.
lot of marshals get abilities that let them like attack and take a step.
Yeah,
Basically to make you like kite enemies.
exactly. That brings us to Sun.
Right. Well, fight's basically over. So I might as well just pad out my statistics a little. I will holster my dagger so that I can reload my second action, and then I will shoot the other.
Sick. Now that you only need 1 point of damage, you're going to land the sickest crit we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I'm going to mark it down as exactly 1 damage.
Amazing.
Yep.
You have double.
Oh yeah, that's true. You get another 2d10 in there
Yeah.
from
Weird,
magic
that-
weapon.
Magic weapon's already in there, I think.
Yeah,
What is it? Okay.
yeah, it's already got the plus.
So
D10.
it got it for the attack roll. It got the +1 in there. It also becomes a striking weapon, which means it does.
It just says increases the number of the weapon damage dice to 2. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just the damage. Okay, gotcha. Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Darn. It's
Yeah.
in there. It's in there.
It's
We're
in
good. Okay. Well, 31 points of damage. Which goes on the spreadsheet as 1 point.
Which for the
Oh,
record
2 points.
is
2 points.
for the record that was piss damage. It's 3d10s, 3d10 doubled, or well, 2d10 doubled plus a d10.
Right.
What else did you add to it?
All right. Make sure on your very important spreadsheet that you put that down for 2 points of damage, not 1. I misspoke. That will bring us to Gargle.
Isn't that full damage? Oh wait, you said.
It's because it only had 2 hit points left. Yeah.
Oh, it's my turn now.
Sure is.
I don't think there's any way I can get close enough to hit it. I have weird legs. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna hang out. I guess I can probably get some cantrips out there. Who wants a cantrip? Who wants to be guided? I'll guide Pip's mom. 'Cause she seems like she's doing some good stuff. So here's a I'm gonna give her a beat of prayer. There's some sympathy in there.
All right.
And then I'm probably going to use the other 2 actions to get the fuck somewhere else. Over here.
That seems wise. All right.
That's
Yuga is kind of poking her head out, keeping an eye on things. Sees that things are starting to get cleaned up, and she's cheering all of you on. Hey, Pepin, don't go down there. Stay here. Hey, no, whatever it is, leave it. Leave it. Crackers.
Well, she said leave it.
She's yelling at her kids in the well, best as you can tell.
I think I really need to get down the well. Is basically what I'm thinking.
Fair. It does look like this last thing is kind of just running off. Let's see. Does anybody intend to kill it as it's running?
I mean, it's running away. It's not like running toward an orphanage, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's running deeper into the city to find more people to chomp.
Oh. Well, that's their problem.
Only if mine gets me too.
Looking for easier target.
All right. Okay. We got this. 30 feet this way. And then Crackers will yank the book off of his back, which floats in front of him as he flips his hand over it and turns to a page. Announces, "Die, you fool."
bolt of energy streaks out from the book. 14 is a hit. Roll damage. For 5 little points of damage, which is enough to splat this thing. It comes down on top of it like a javelin, and it crumples on the street.
It would have been really funny if you said Diuful and it missed.
Sure, whatever.
I know, right? And then he kind of stumbles with his book and almost drops it, and then like, ooh.
All right. With that, for the time being, you've bought a moment of peace to recuperate, to heal up, to rest. Bobble, you do see that your companions, the one you've been traveling with here, have finished their fight as well. And they are all gathering up to begin traveling eastward. Presumably, they'll meet you over there after you get your family to safety.
It's gonna be real awkward if they all die.
Sure would. That'd be super awkward.
East? I'm not going eastward, I'm going downward.
As they're running this way, you do see that another shark kind of bursts out at them, and then they get tangled up in another fight. Somewhere off screen. Don't worry about it. Alright. What would you guys like to do? Bobble, you know that your family had a ship that they were going to be evacuated on the docks, which are up north. Let's see, Sun had heard that it might be safe if you followed the coast to the east, and then obviously from last session, Bobble, you're aware that there might be a destination for you guys out east that some of you are interested in, at least.
So the ship that's gonna evacuate my family's up north. And so yeah, and the place where I need to go is east, right?
Yeah. So
All
you
right.
guys are kind of down at this intersection.
Okay. I guess the first thing I do is pull everyone out of the wall with like a stick or something.
Yeah, good call. They all
And-
climb out and start looking around to make sure that it's safe.
All right.
Right.
I guess she announces to the 4 of you that are still around is like, can I like pay any of you to help me take these guys down up north?
Well, you already owe me money, so yes.
Fine. There's plenty to go around right now. And
Alternatively, the game is Dungeons and Dragons or something like it. You could keep your family with you if you wanted to bring them on this adventure. Just
they're gonna
presenting
die.
Fair. In that case, you know that the ship they're supposed to get on is up on this northern harbor.
I can fit 2 of them in my cheek pouches.
Are they that small?
I don't know if that's true.
Well, at level 20 I can.
Oh, okay.
In fact, you like role playing the small children. This is why you suggest this.
No, I was mostly just presenting it because I want to give the
Okay.
illusion that you're not all being railroaded for this mini campaign. But the truth is that you guys are being railroaded extremely hard for this entire mini
Fine.
campaign.
Nah, Bobble would want to get them the fuck out of here, like, as soon as possible. No, like, nowhere near where we're going, because that's obviously going to be super fucking dangerous.
All right.
So, yeah.
The plan then is to start heading north. However, you guys are in bad shape and might want to take a second to heal up first.
Yeah. If anyone wants to help me take them north, they can join and shit. So,
So
Nobody
let's-
asked me how I run 30 feet instead of 25.
I was wondering, but I wasn't going to question it.
Crackers runs on all 4s and gets extra 5 feet.
Aw, it's kind of cute.
Like Japanese horror running on all 4s, or just like a horse.
Let's go with the cuter option rather than the
Japanese horror, got it.
Is that
Oh.
is that a thing?
Dude, I can send you some stuff if you want to see.
Wait,
how
okay.
I get this.
For clarification, are you saying horror or horror?
Horror,
Body
Oh,
horror?
okay.
scary, spooky.
I
Japanese,
was-
yeah, Japanese horrors. They just love to run.
I gotta
around.
tell you, I was intrigued. I hadn't heard this. I was like, "What's this about?" Jesus.
Show me them whores.
All right. What time we got? How much more learning can we do today?
I have my hand raised.
Yes, Lush.
Well, now I don't remember what I was going to say.
Well,
Oh yeah. Where are we? Where are we going? Oh no, that wasn't my question. My question was, that one guy who was all like, "I'd die for you." Is he dead? Because he's not here.
He is up at the ship up north. He is waiting
Okay.
with the rest of your
Oh,
followers.
so
up
I am
north.
going north. Oh, we're going up north then. I'll help you with your kids.
Great, we'll pay you later.
You don't have to pay me.
We'll pay you later. Come on, let's go. She's not even acknowledging what you're saying.
I'm
Is that-
probably smaller than all of your children.
I don't know. Some of them are pretty small, except for Gloos. Gloos is a bit, or sorry, Chinry. Chinry's a big
Yeah.
boy.
Are any of them shorter than
Yeah, like
children?
Bobble just hands you Gloos and Sun Pippin to carry.
Excellent.
How does out of combat healing?
Yeah, let's learn some out of combat healing thing. So first of all, does anybody have any focus healing spells that they want to burn? I don't think anybody in this party does. I think all your focus spells are combat stuff.
Nah.
So that's a really good option because they come back every 10 minutes. So if you had Good Berry, you could cast that every 10 minutes. The next option is medicine checks. Each person can be healed by a medicine check once every hour, and there's feats that can improve that later. But for now, I don't think anybody has one. So what you do is the doctor goes around to each person and does a treat wounds check, a medicine check. And the results of that check determine how much health they get that hour.
And who's the worst off right now?
I am 8 out of 12. Or 8 out of 16.
I literally died.
Yeah.
So I'm at 8 out of 20. I'm good at healing though.
Do they still have the wounds?
Yes,
Yeah,
they do currently have the
we'll
wounded
still
condition.
Okay, sorry, Crackers, but you tried to you tried to take the bear position when you didn't even know what the bear was. So, yeah, you don't deserve healing.
You told me to go down the well. I tried to obey. I just wanted to go down the well.
So yeah, I guess I'll do a medicine check on. Which one is worse off with the healing, with the wound?
I
Sun or
think we're the same.
Maybe
I don't know what your max health is, but we both have 8 health. We're wounded.
Fuck.
My max health is 16 currently.
Same.
I have 4.
Because I was a fool and didn't play an orc.
How do you have 16? Do you have that bad constitution?
Yeah, just cause.
Do you promise your luck won't make it drain back to 0 if I heal you, Dre?
Look, man, this
You
system has
couldn't
already
do anything.
proven all of my fears, so I can't promise anything. I just know that.
I'll start
mean-
with this.
Let us
Who-
not forget, he actually did die. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, legit.
Yeah.
He 100% would be
Pip-
real then.
Pip walks over to Sun, and is like, "Hey."
He looks down at you. He kind of reaches down and picks you up by your leaf. Who the hell are you?
I'm Pip. You it didn't go so good for you. It didn't look like.
Oh.
Here. And I assume you're holding him up by his leaf, and he's at your eye level.
Yeah.
He will reach up and tear one of his eyes off, and just ever so gently place it into your mouth. For some reason, I don't have this anywhere on my sheet, but this is my.
He casts harm.
Interact.
It's my fruit leshy thing, but it's not on my sheet anywhere. But that's from PF2E.
Okay, then
Set.
as Bovel hands Gargle, the serial bedwetter of the family, she notices he's a bit fucked up too, and is you're no good, Dad. And then does a medicine check or something to
Excellent.
help with that.
Then yeah, go and give me a medicine. By default, the DC is 15. If you do fairly well, you could do even better healing than that. Later on, there's options to kind of gamble on a higher DC, but we'll talk about that later.
Awesome.
Do you want to roll that healing seeker, or should I?
Oh, you can roll it. It's just a D8.
I mean, it's your ability.
Okay, I'll roll it.
We've also seen what I roll.
I was going to say,
Dice,
Drake's
say
the
dice hate me more than you.
Oh, I don't know
Or
if
you
that's
more
true.
than me, I should say.
Yeah. I was going to say, Drake has the worst dice luck I've ever seen.
I'll take it.
Ooh, that's
Jaeger's
rough.
pretty bad.
Oh, that's true. Jaeger also has terrible dice luck. Between the
Okay,
two of them,
good.
they're making me actually believe in prescriptive luck, which is fucking rough. I don't know how to come to terms with that as a human being.
It's confirmation bias.
It is confirmation bias. I'm aware.
That's a failure.
In my mind, I'm aware. In my heart, I just wish Drake would roll well for once, so that he wouldn't think that things are being proven right.
He does, but when he rolls well, he goes, figures, and you immediately forget about it.
True, that is confirmation bias. Okay, excellent. 13 is a failure. Nothing happens except he cannot be treated again for the next hour. You can try again in an hour to heal him.
Okay.
And with that said, he is immune for an hour. You can now turn around and try crackers if you want.
Sure.
Cool.
Can you treat wounds yourself?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Cool, let's start that.
There we go. That's a success. Crackers recovers 2d8 hit points.
What? Don't touch me! You're a monster! I hear you're poisonous!
Very.
Ah!
I'm gonna rip your heart out and replace the one I just lost.
I don't know how to roll dice. Oh, yeah, I do.
Just like that.
And I guess I'll medicine
Doubled my
check
health.
Pip real quick.
I think
So
Pip
I'm
is getting himself.
I'm gonna work
right?
myself to start
Okay.
with, and then... I'm sorry, so how does this work? I just make a medicine check?
Yep, just a medicine check. The DC is 15.
Cool. Question.
Yes.
I have a thing. I assume medicine is going to be better here. But if I can use nature instead, and in certain environments, I can get more, like a +2 to my nature. I assume probably there's not a whole lot of nature here to work with.
Not here in the city, now.
Makes sense.
If you're in the wilderness, you might have easier to allowing to. I mean, you've been in nature. I feel like
Honestly, my medicine might be better than my nature anyway.
That's
I don't
fair,
know
that's
why I'm even
fair,
asking
okay.
this question. Actually, they're the same, so it doesn't matter. That's totally pointless.
Okay, cool. On a critical success, you recover 48 hit points, and just like before, if you had the wounded condition, it would be removed.
Excellent. Pip just sits down on the ground and sticks his little tendrils and roots and stuff into the earth, starts burrowing in, just lays on his back on the ground and starts getting greener
Excellent.
on their back.
Ooh,
Pip doesn't have genitals.
true. True.
Yet.
Yet.
Alright, Crackers is immune for now, Gargle's immune for now, Bobble can still be healed, and Sun can still be healed.
I'll get Sun too. While I'm giving him that berry, I'll tack on that.
I have a +7 in medicine.
Oh, you go for it. Oh, so if one person does it, it makes them immune.
Correct. They're immune to everyone else for 1 hour. And
I
again,
see, okay.
later on there's feats that can get around that. For baseline, that's how it works.
I thought it was
I
a
get
choice.
it.
I didn't know I could just go to everyone and heal them, so I might as well have just rolled 4 medicine checks.
It is worth mentioning, and we'll bring it up because time is kind of the essence. I'm assuming that some of this is happening as you guys seek cover and make your way through town. Each person takes 10 minutes. So Bobble has spent 20 minutes on 2 people so far, and Pip has spent 10 minutes. So Pip realistically would have had 10 minutes to go do Sun while you were doing your second person.
Okay, so that makes sense then.
Gotcha. I'll give it a shot then.
All right.
And I've got 2 less than you, but
Do you want a guidance?
sure. Doesn't look like it would help though.
Gets you a +1.
It only gets me to 11.
Yep, and unfortunately 11 means no change up or down.
That's right. He still gets my berry.
True, gets the berry.
My berry.
And as soon as I plop that berry in your eye, sound another one grows right in behind it. Just a couple seconds later. Actually, no, I think it says it does go back to the next long rest. So he's missing an eye till next long rest.
Does that hurt you?
What does that mean?
All right.
Child, this feeling that we had earlier when the shark bit us, that is hurt.
Oh. No, that doesn't hurt me. It's just it's just eventually I run out of berries and have to wait for more to grow.
It's. You know what? Never mind.
Does that hurt you when you get smashed to death by a big tiger shark?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
It's
Sorry.
It's kind of ironic, but it also fills me with a weird sense of vindication. But, mostly this suffering and pain and agony. As my mortal form is decimated and my soul nearly leaves its body.
Mom,
Yes,
this grown up is grumpy.
I believe this one could use a hug, child.
I'll reach forward and wrap my little leaf arms around Son's face and just like lean my forehead on his nose.
Aww.
They're there. They're there.
It just kind of gives this weird frown of like, I don't know how to process any of this, but it'll like pat you on the back with like very gently with like 2 fingers.
As Pip is hugging your ankles, you look over Pip's shoulders, and this horrible creature with 8 eyes and just like dripping flaming venom is just like staring at you.
All of the worst insect parts just...
I would have to double check. I believe she speaks out loud, and she is probably speaking Common unless you wanted her to speak Hellenic instead. I'd have to look and see like how it's supposed to work.
That's totally up to her. I'm her familiar.
True. I'll check that here in a second. In the meantime, Biscuit has a hand raised. What's up?
Oh, I was just testing to see if you were looking at the hands. I didn't think you were.
I sure am, and I believe they're staying up now, but I can't tell for sure. Lush, what's up?
They are, yeah.
Can I make that check on her now?
Yes, absolutely. You can give me... this would be just a straight-up religion check. And I'll give you a +2 circumstance bonus because you have your spirit sense thing. Uh, 20 is quite good. Oh, okay, so to be clear, no, this thing is speaking Hellenic, which means that nobody except Pip understands it. Yeah, it does not know Common. Wonderful.
That's really funny.
And actually, on that note, so this is so appropriate, I hadn't even considered it. Hellenic, some of you might, actually, most of you probably don't even know, like, maybe Gargle would even be like, oh, that sounds like Hellenic, even though you don't know it. What you guys hear is this horrible, discordant kind of melodic singing, almost like a terrible cricket or something like that. Just this, like, grating chorus of howls and whistles that come through the various pores all over its body. Hellenic is a sung language, the language of fallen angel. It is incomprehensible to most, barely even recognizable as a language. It sounds more like terrible music.
Thanks for helping my mom, everyone. We really appreciate it.
All right, but can your mom help us get to the north dock?
Where did your kid go?
They're they just point to like Sun and I guess Gargle holding them like briefcases, like.
No, I meant the one that you threw at the shark.
That's not my kid. That's my heart. My actual heart.
Who
What? How?
are you guys?
I don't think. We'll explain later. I'm a witch. I'm trying to get my kids out of the city before it fucking gets sundered under a bunch of rubble and, I guess, racist troops.
I guess maybe we should get out of town before
Maybe.
we talk. I have to ask my mom if I can come.
Yes, of course. These people... sorry, I have wrong voice. What does your mom sound like? Yes. These people are headed to a place of great importance to us. We can help them, and perhaps they can help us.
You people are headed to a place of great importance to us. Perhaps we can help you, and you can help us. That's what my mom said when I asked.
Have you guys ever seen Bravest Warriors? There's this part with Catbug. He's like, your mom said I could have 2 peanut butter squares. And it's just like, I'm just getting vibes like that from Pip right now.
Jumping back to your question, Lush, you recognize that this thing is a fiendish daemon, which is to say, it is a spirit that is accumulated as the result of massive outbursts of sympathy. It is the sort of thing that could eventually become an angel, or potentially even a demigod or a god. It is very similar to the energy that is collected in your beads, except instead of being contained inside of a physical object as part of a ritual, this is a little more... This is what happens when it's not contained. If you were to suddenly take all of the energy in your beads and just dump it into the weave, it would make something very much like this. This is a naturally forming daemon, and it is well on its way to becoming a proper, either like demon or demigod or something along those lines.
I'm going to give her a very respectful bow.
She does the same. She seems to be... So, we kind of glossed over the part where you guys were in the tavern talking with Bobble and all of Bobble's weird friends. Bobble and all of Bobble's weird friends just showed up in this town about the same time that you guys did, and they all have a bunch of weird-ass relics that they were studying. There's like a crimson envelope and a weird map with a mystery marking on it. Those markings are what caught Mom's eye, Pip. She seems to believe that those are important to you. Okay. Gargle would recognize that they are cult activity, and they're not the same as your cult, but they're tangentially related. You guys have similar goals, and it's worth being invested in each other. Crackers, the only reason that you kind of suspect that you might be involved in all of this is because Pip's mom recognized your dagger and was like, oh yeah, hold on to that. That's going to be very important. And suggests
that horrible alien spoke to me?
Probably through Pip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something to
My
the
mom
tune...
likes your knife.
I was just eating with it.
Oh, God. That's probably why she addressed you then. Like, oh, tell him not to do that.
My mom says that's not a good idea.
Why? I need a knife to eat with. What do you mean?
I don't know. She just said it's not a good idea.
There is one that waits within that man, who is yet to be born as well, just as I was just born. That knife will help birth him, but not if he continues to use it to butter his bread.
My mom says you're gonna have a baby too, and you gotta use the knife to get it out of you.
Okay. Good idea. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Buttering.
I'll tell her you're welcome.
More butter.
Thank you.
The butter is free here, you guys.
I guess. So I've seen. Okay, I want to like walk over, like hobble over to Pip and just lay a hand down for him to hop onto.
He gladly does.
Okay, and then while Pip is there, I like cup my other hand around him and just whisper, "Listen, I've dealt with beasts of these this caliber before. I've maybe summoned a couple of you too, and I just blink twice if you're being held hostage by it."
Pip has
Just doesn't blink.
His eyes are too big holly berries. He's incapable of blinking.
He knows only has one, so it would be more of a wink at this point.
But he looks at you and or they look at you and they cock their head and they're like, "What's a hostage?"
It's when you're being like taken places by someone and you don't really have any say in it.
Maybe kind of. I mean, but my mom takes me all kinds of cool places, but it's not like I don't want to go.
Like where? Like the labor factory?
The other day, my mom took me to this village where there were some really shiny men, and they were trying to take coins away from some people who lived there. And my mom gave them a coin, and then the coin like exploded, and my mom came out of it, and she lit them all on fire and tore their insides out from the inside of them. And then afterwards, we spent the night in their village, and I got to sit on a nice sunny hillside, and I showed them my waffle iron.
They made you a waffle out of dirt.
I can't say I've done anything. I can't say I haven't done worse as a mother.
So awful.
You threw your baby into a shark's mouth. So
not my baby. He wanted to do it.
Well, that's
anyway.
Okay. I'm not judging or anything.
Anyway, fine. I put you back down and give you a little pat on the back and usher you back towards your mom and just like stare at her in solidarity, like I guess you're a mom too, and nod, and then and then we go off.
Thanks,
All right.
Aunt Bobble.
Yeah. Aw.
Okay. I think Crackers is gonna scoot over next to Sun Oh, thank God. Somebody here is human. Do you know an Ellen?
No.
Oh, crap. Okay, carry on.
Are you looking for something?
I'm looking for a blonde lady named Ellen.
Uh, what?
She's really cute. She, like, kind of into me, I think, a little bit. I was getting some signals. I think she lives here, maybe. But there aren't any
Well,
other humans here.
I'm not really from around here all that much. Just kind of got in, so
Yeah, obviously, both of us are, like, foreigners. Obviously. Look at everyone else.
yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay, we'll stick together. You and me.
Uh, as
Yeah,
you-
thanks for sticking with us during that fight.
Um, yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. That was fun. That was
Oh, yeah, that was a good. That was a good time.
a great time.
Are do all of you magic types not understand sarcasm?
What's
Well,
sarcasm?
I understand it. I just don't recognize it when it happens.
Right. Ask your mom.
Crackers wilts.
as you guys get farther from the walls, the sound of combat becomes a little bit clearer, although you know it's only a matter of time before they breach through. You can hear the cannons down south as they hold the line, trying to buy time for people to escape to the ships. Eventually, you make your way up to the docks. As you are heading up that way, Gargle, you notice that your beads begin to glow. One at first kind of twinkle, and then another begins to glow bright,
Ah,
and
they're
then another,
dying.
and another, and you know what that means.
My followers on the ship are dead, aren't they?
What you can say with certainty is that if they're finding their way to your beads, they are doing so valiantly and in service of you. They believe that they are going out to help you, whatever is happening.
Guys, we need to hurry
Where are we going?
to the ship, right? Like, the people are in danger. I mean,
Okay.
are they all dead? Was that all of them, or are there like still a few?
It has started. You're probably like 10 minutes from up there, and I'd say maybe 3 or 4 of them.
Am I near? Are we like near the water at all?
Yeah, let's jump back out. First of all, for the sake of you guys spend a lot of time having conversation and also moving sneakily through the city, trying to avoid more of these sharks. Another hour has passed getting up top, and if you guys want to do a couple more medicine checks, you can.
Yeah, why not?
So I'll let Mom handle these since he gets a bit mad.
Gargle, you get it.
I'm gonna give you some guidance.
Oh yeah.
So you get a +1. Let me give it to you real quick.
It is also worth mentioning that if you wanted to try helping each other, you can do that. Up to you.
Yeah.
If I can, like, if helping adds some sort of
It is.
mechanical benefit, then.
It is important in Pathfinder 2. So the way that helping works is you do a DC 20 check of the same type, so a medicine check. If you succeed, they get a bonus to their check. If you critically fail, you could hurt their check. So you don't want to help unless it's something you're good at.
Okay.
So there is a risk that you could hurt instead of helping if you're very bad at something.
What would a
Makes
critical
sense.
fail be?
It would be a 10 or lower. So if you roll a 10 or lower on your medicine check, you could make his medicine check worse.
Or a natural one.
Or a natural one, yep.
Okay. Do we pass by, this is a stretch, but enough, like, I don't know, foliage and restorative berries and shit for me to do it with nature instead of medicine, perchance?
Almost certainly. Let me pull this up. I'm pretty sure that you guys go through farmland in the middle of town.
Okay,
you
so
do.
we're not near the water at all then.
No, you guys are way down on the south side of the city. And if you were to go up this way, you could pass through farmland on the way, which would be enough for you to get some fresh ingredient.
Okay. So in that case, I will do, if you'll allow this, nature instead of medicine, and I'll just do it like as a help to give Bobble the help.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So go and give me your
I'll just go gather ingredients for her as we're walking.
perfect. Give me your health check. Or
So
health
this
check.
should have a +2 circumstance bonus, +2. How do I do this?
So when you click medicine, if you click the number on the far left, it should give you a pop-up instead, and then you can add it there.
Oh yeah. Oh,
15.
no helpies.
No help, but no hindrance. So now, Sidro, you can make your medicine check to heal. Who are you healing first?
Gargle with guidance, right?
Yep, so you
Yep.
got a +1.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well,
Hey, there we go. That is a success, not quite a crit success, but Gargle, you recover 2d8 and you lose your wounded status.
Okay. Did you include the +1 in your roll automatically, or?
yeah. No. It's 24, but I did
Oh,
not
yeah.
include the plus one. I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah, I only ask because I don't know what the critical success is, and I know that it automatically says it.
30.
Oh.
10 plus whatever the DC is.
Yep. A DC
Oh,
for a
okay.
medicine check is 15, though, so 25 would have done it if you could have gotten one more point somehow.
Okay.
So how many points do I get then?
2d8.
I'll let you roll it since it's your resource.
All right. All right. 6. You get 6 back.
6 points health, and you lose the wounded status.
All right. And I guess let's try Sun one more time so he can just get rid of the wounded.
Sure. Pip can try helping again if he wants.
Oh, I can help again?
Yep, you can help with each one of these checks if you want.
Delightful.
I'll give Pip the guidance so that he can be better at
Okay.
helping.
Excellent.
I can only give you two like once everyone. You can only benefit from it once to 10 minutes.
Yep.
Got it, okay.
So, importantly, medicine check is 10 minutes, so you could do this on all these if you wanted.
Of course.
Oh, I could.
Sure could.
Hey, the +1 puts us
Yeah,
at 10 at
+1.
least, so.
It does. Excellent, so you avoid a crit fail thanks to guidance.
And I guess if it's 10 minutes, I guess you give it to Bobble as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, these can all be guided.
All right.
There is 10 minutes between each check.
I'm sorry.
That tracks.
It's unbelievable. And then crackers if you want.
Yeah, crackers.
Alright, here comes the help.
This time you take a -1 because the help was bad.
Is that a
That
plus?
wasn't, that
is
wasn't the help.
Oh, sorry, that
was his
wasn't
actual
the
check.
help. Sorry, just
The help is 15.
Help is 15. Okay, so help is neutral and the check fails.
The check is 10 because of guidance.
Yep, 10 still fail. Okay,
Oh,
so
it's
we're good.
fail.
Yeah, DC is 15 to
Oh, but not crit fail.
right, but not a crit fail. Okay, we're good. So after the second round of healing, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crackers
does,
has warded you away with his dagger.
Does Healer's Tools affect any of this in any way?
No, you just
Or
have
is that
to
just
have them
allowing
do
me
it.
to make it?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
exactly. Yep.
All right. So yeah, you get north and all that.
All right.
I guess if it matters, just as they're heading north, Bobble, her skin looks a little grayer and just in general is hobbling and breathing harder than she usually is. And probably because Grits isn't there and got chomped up. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, you feel this kind of just hollow aching in your chest. Your skin around there kind of gets a little bit gray. Your fingers start to do the pruning raisin thing a bit.
Yeah.
I'd offer to let you ride on my mom, but her secretions are very dangerous.
So are mine, kid. I think it'd be worse for all of you if the two combined.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hurry, guys.
As
Also, I don't know if you saw the message I sent you in Telegram. In fact, just wherever we're going, I'm always going to try sticking as close as I can to water,
Understood.
so I can always jump
Yeah.
in to hide.
for sure.
Yeah, I just don't have to ever, during the day, like, well, we want to be near water. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that was just like yeah.
Yeah, and actually, on that topic, let's learn new PF2 thing. Specifically, what you guys do as you're traveling. You can do anything you want while you're traveling. These are some of the suggestions that PF2 offers. What one by one, what would you guys be doing as you're kind of sneaking your way up towards the docks here? I guess let's start with Pavel.
Just whatever's the closest to keeping an eye out for their kids, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Like that, yeah.
That would probably be scouting. You're just watching for danger, unless you specifically think that there might be like traps and stuff. Then you could come down here to search for traps.
Yeah, there's no way there's like.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
Yeah.
All right, Pip, what does it look like when you are traveling up here?
So act together. Let's me and my mom take 2 different actions while we're
Ooh, I should
traveling.
pull her over.
I think that mom is probably like just keeping watch for danger, unless that slows us down. The goal seems to be speed at the moment.
Kind of. So at this point, you guys took an hour to get up there, so you were already sort of avoiding. I assume that you were taking like side roads so that you don't get hit by sharks. So you're already moving slow anyway. You can pick anything you want.
Okay, great. Mom will be sort of keeping watch. And I think Pip is like looking around. Well, he was probably occupied mostly with like looking for the berries and stuff that we used to do all that healing. But if that doesn't take his whole travel activity, he'll just see if he sees anything shiny to pick up to give people presents.
Wonderful. I'll let you call that search or investigate. Either one is fine. Cool. How about Crackers? What does Crackers do as you guys are sneaking up to the docks?
Obviously.
Makes a lot of sense. Gargle. Same. And Sun.
I guess so. This is, I guess, more a question for you, in fact, than for me. Would Mom want to be like out right now, or would she be avoiding notice too? Is she trying to avoid notice being in like a city?
Not terribly. She doesn't seem to mind too much when people see her. And she seems more interested in making sure that she is around to protect you than like staying hidden right now.
Great.
Okay, excellent. Good. Sun is covering your tracks, which comes in handy, because these things have a wonderful sense of smell. I was curious if anyone would pick this.
Oh, then I'll get off of that.
No, too late now, motherfucker. Sick. Cool. Okay, delightful. As you guys make your way up to the docks, more and more of your beads are alike, Gargle. You can tell that there must be something terrible going on. And you begin to see it as you get to the dock house. It's barely visible. There's not a fire or anything like that going on. It's just some torches along the quay. There are shapes and shadows on the deck of your ship. Or not your ship, but Sun's ship, where all of your people were. You can see the occasional clash of sparks as weapons are clanged against each other. Occasionally flashes of light as divine magic is thrown. And you can see that your people are helping to fend off some Azantic pirates that have swum up and boarded onto the ship. It is getting very late. I don't know if we have time to play out a whole nother combat, unless you guys think you can go late.
No,
I can't go late. I work at 6 tomorrow morning. I didn't get much sleep today.
Understood.
I would love to have a combat that I actually accomplish something.
I would too. I'm itching. I feel for you. I know I'm poking fun, but I want to see you hit something for 36 damage and actually get all 36 points of it instead of it all being overkill.
I do want to say one thing on the record before we leave tonight.
Sure.
And that is what Gargle's real name is.
Sure, go for it.
Deeply impressive.
Did you have that ready?
I have been waiting all day to do that.
Perfect.
But he understands that you guys probably can't make that noise, so it's just Gargle.
Then
No, I can't.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you have to be wet. You know, like amphibious, I guess.
Oh, I'm always wet.
Oh, maybe like it.
Then to get us where we need to go real quick, we're going to do a little railroading here. Still figuring out the pace on all this. You guys arrive and help finish the fight. I guess in lieu of doing a combat, Gargle, give me a luck check to see if you can get there and save Archbeaker Sulfur Spritz.
Yeah, and what I was gonna do is I was gonna jump at the water as soon as I could to move faster.
Absolutely. If you're willing to
Fire
go
from cover.
if you're willing to go a little ahead of your party, I'll give you a +1 circumstance.
Yeah, I would. I'm getting antsy. But the moment I get to water, I'm going to move faster, and I'm concealed when I'm underwater. So,
Understood.
like,
All right, good luck. 1d20 plus 1.
20.
The gods smile ever in your favor. You arrive a little before everyone else and begin just firing off spells, trying to draw attention. And every time they turn to look at you, you dip under the water.
I will burn a spell if I can.
Certainly. What do you got?
I'm going to get up a little bit close, and I'm going to use 3 actions to cast this. They need to make, everything with 30 feet needs to make a save.
Excellent. So rather than play out the combat, because we are running out of time, eventually your friends catch up and are able to help you to fend off the last of these pirates, many of which you find already dead. Your people have done remarkable work. They're well-trained people that are here to defend and serve you. And as the last of the pirates dies, the Archspeaker comes up to you, mournful, but with a sense of, yes, we've done our purpose. This is why we're here. And begins to help you do a little bit of an incantation to channel the spirits of the ones who died here, and to help you draw them in one at a time. And unlike the others, these are not resisting. Nobody here is fleeing. Nobody here has a great danger or a terrible sadness that binds them to this plane. You're able to spend a couple of hours to draw all of these followers in, one by one, until your beads begin to glow and glow and glow, with the remainders of the brethren that had joined you on your pilgrimage. Except for the Archspeaker, who continues to walk at your side. Son, you find that your crew is mostly alive and well. A couple of them are pretty grievously injured, but they are trained combatants. They know how to retreat when necessary. And they are able to get you in, tend to your wounds, get you paid, and kind of square away all of your business here.
Excellent.
They do, however, when you're investigating the ship, show that you're going to be landlocked here for a while, and the Azantic Navy is, like, closing in fast, with some tremendous regret. They believe that you may need to abandon ship. That waiting at the ship would be sort of a death sentence, because the Navy will just come through and bombard them. You're sitting ducks. And the captain gets real emotional. He's been with this ship for years and years and years. He doesn't want to let it go, but it is not in condition to fly. And they start coming up with plans to maybe run east and hide, or find another ship to commandeer. The captain kind of he cheers up a little bit when he's like, well, why don't we go just steal that ship? And like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's go steal that ship. And they start formulating a plan for that. Lush, what's up?
I mean, I guess wait. I was just going to ask if we do level up, because thematically I was going to do something.
Absolutely. You guys will level up straight to 3. Everybody will be 3 going into the next round of sessions. And I'll also get you guys sorted out with some gold and some loot and stuff like that between sessions. Again, we're moving real fast just because we want to see a lot of the system. You're going to be leveling up very, very quickly, and we're going to be hand-waving a lot of shopping and things like that as we go. Also, I'll probably give, like, we don't have time to do it tonight, but I'll probably do, like, a level-up guide for everybody that's new to the system, so that we're all ready to go for next session.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is just part of the level up thing. So as I do have those new souls join me, and good old what is this guy's name?
Archspeaker Sulfur Spreads.
Archspeaker's
Which, you be aware, is his common name. The actual sound is one of a sulfuric geyser kind of spritzing out a bunch of water.
Yeah. As he starts to like help me do this one, I actually not only whenever my beats start glowing, I start to grow, and I am now 3 foot tall as I expand with power.
Excellent. You guys watch as in front of your eyes, he seems to grow a little bit taller.
I was
hoping you would like grow smaller as we ate the
It would be
off at one point.
2 foot the lowest I could be. But I'm
Okay,
gonna get big. I'm still growing, guys.
I was saving this conversation for next session, but I needed you to be shorter than me for this conversation. So at some point while we're walking through the city, Pip walks up to Gargoyle and is like, "Are you a grown-up? How long ago did your mom make you?"
Well, I was actually just reborn not too long ago. This is a new body.
How long ago? I've never seen anyone littler than me, and my mom made me 2 weeks ago.
In fact, how long ago has it been since I've risen?
It's probably been a couple months.
A couple months. I'm still growing though.
You must grow really slow because I'm already bigger than you, and my mom made me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that leaf really helps you be taller than me too.
Yeah, I don't know if the leaf really counts or not.
I think it does. It's part of your body.
Thanks.
Hey, look, I grew now. I'm bigger now. Now I'm taller than you.
Oh. And now I'm the littlest. That's okay. I don't know if I'm ever going to get bigger or not because I'm not a fish person. Only fish people get bigger in my experience.
Well, I'm a special case.
Okay.
As everyone is trying to figure out what to do and where to go, Bobble, you know that all of your friends are kind of waiting for you at a camp out east, and you're planning on traveling over to the city whose name I've forgotten because I'm a bad DM. Nurazakam or something like that? Something very much like that. Some of your newfound friends, Pip, and Gargle especially, and Crackers, if Pip's mom is to be believed, believe that they might have business out there as well. Son, your captain says, "Lad, there is one thing that I could have you do while we're here in town." And he gives you a map, and there's a big X on it. You know what you'll find there. It's me booty, lad. The last of me booty. I don't want you to have it. It's for me. I just need you to go get it. Can you go get it for me?
You're really making me your errand boy. I just died.
You died. You look great.
Yes. Feel terrible.
Well, this might make you feel a little better. And he hands you not only the pay that you already owed, but a pretty sizable sack of gold. This is for you and for the friends who helped save the ship, of course. Split it up as you see fit.
Right.
And he gives you like a little bit of a wink.
All right. It'll be 90% for me.
I fetch my loot, bring it back, and you can have 10%.
10%?
10%, my boy. You wouldn't believe how much booty is in my booty.
10% and a 5% increase for danger.
You got a good head. Good negotiator. You'll make a fine captain someday. 10%.
The Navy is literally bombing this area.
Yeah, you drive a hard bargain. 15% for danger pay. Understood.
Right. Damn straight.
Excellent. He probably also gives you like some weapons and supplies that will hand wave as part of the level up, but we can sort through all that between sessions.
I think you should give him 25%.
And I think you're about the right size to stuff into a cannon.
No, he doesn't say that to me. I have a feat for this.
Oh. Right, of course. What does that do? Shameless request, okay. You request something, you do, but for an outrageous request by 2, and you can't critically fail, you can only fail. You know what? You're right. He would not. It would not lower his attitude towards you. Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check, and I will lower the DC by 2. Probably should have had
So from like 30
well.
to 28 or something?
Yeah, something like that. We can talk about this. This is a new thing. In PF2, there are many ways to determine the DC, but a way that I think is worth sharing is the like 10, 20, 30, 40 scale.
Ooh.
That's really good. Let me go pull this up real quick.
25 is the biggest number that I know. That's as high as I can count. That's why I picked 25. I whisper into Sutton's ear.
It's a good call, at the very least.
Thanks.
Don't know if he'll go for it, but
That's okay.
I appreciate the effort.
So, to do a basic task that requires no training is like a 10, right? 15 is to do something that takes training, like baking a nice cake. 20 is something that like an expert would do, so picking a lock or fixing a broken gun. 30 is anime shit. If you're trying to like run up a bunch of rocks that are falling from the sky, or like throw your sword and then shoot it with a bullet to make it go faster, that's anime shit. Anime shit is 30. So what you just did with the 26 is somewhere between, like professional work and anime shit. I think that's well. Okay, lower the DC. Yeah, so that's effectively a 28. You know what? You and your friends seem like good people. 20%, but share it fairly.
Okay. 20 is a pretty big number, too, I whisper to Sun. It's not the biggest, it's not the very biggest number, but it's a pretty big number.
Sun's just flabbergasted.
Thanks, mister. He climbs down off your back.
Normally, I would require a lot more justification for that, but we'll say that at some point in the battle, you saved the captain's life or some shit like that. Again, we're doing a lot of railroading and hand-waving for this mini-campaign as we learn the system.
I just really had to break out that feat.
It's a great feat. It's a wonderful feat. One way or another, each of you kind of gets a mission to travel east to Zakam, or I'll remember the city name eventually. And after sneaking through the city, avoiding a few more of these tiger sharks, you do eventually find the rest of your party at a little campsite a couple hours east of town. And that is where we'll wrap up and pick up next week. But you guys are all finally, the 10 of you, united. You can begin to introduce yourselves and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, outstanding. What a great time, gang. I'm going to bounce immediately because I got to get up early. But
Yeah, that was fun.
Have a good
that's
night.
great.
One last quick note: when Crackers falls asleep, horizontal slit appears across his forehead and opens into a third eyeball that watches.
Hell
I ate it
yeah.
a lot.
Cut to black, credits roll. Let's go.
I love how weird everyone is.
This is a very fucking weird party. I love it.
All right, guys. Peace and good night.
Good night.